Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Hope you guys are having a good night. Happy Sunday to you guys. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. Like I said on the way in here, let's get a like rally going. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, welcome to The Real. A lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, we're going to get into Dillon Gabriel's performance yesterday. We were going to go live, but I said, you know what, I'm going to wait and take my time and really think about what I want to talk about. What are my thoughts on his performance? And so we'll get into that here in a second. Shout out to Param Johnson in the building. He said, I knew it from the jump. Sanders was projected first rounder. Dillon wasn't. It's clear who's better. And we're going to get into that in a minute, Param John. Before that, though, I want to give a shout out. You can see I got my shirt on tonight. Speed for Sports. Obviously, Coach Shedeur right into him. Went out and got the shirt today from him. And Akron. Shout out to Coach Shedeur, the legend. You see I got my shirt on tonight. Any athlete out there, anybody watch the show, give Coach Shedeur a call. He'll get you where you need to be and up to par and speed. You can see the phone number there on the t-shirt and stuff, and go watch our past episodes. It's down in the description below. Shout out to the legend, though, Coach Shedeur. Also got to meet, well, there's Mike with his shirt. Mike was very happy. And so I also got to meet people who actually have watched the show as well because of Coach, and shout out to them. Wadsworth's starting quarterback this year, Bryson Hall. Shout out to Bryson. Great to meet you and your father today, brother. Bryson's an up-and-coming rising star quarterback here in Ohio. Go check him out. He's got a great year this year. Him and Wadsworth, they got some dudes over there. A lot of speed for sports athletes. And so keep an eye on Bryson. He's a great kid, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. And we're actually going to try to get him on the show here soon once he's available. So he's actually got his first game this week. And so against Barberton. So shout out to him and shout out to Wadsworth, the whole squad. We'll be rooting for you guys all year. And shout out to Bryson. And so now we'll get to the meat and potatoes, the Dillon Gabriel performance. Before I get to that, though, because I feel like I need somebody else up here today, because this is going to be this is everybody's waiting to hear, this breakdown, because I know people are wondering what I'm thinking, what Mike's thinking. And, I'm here curious what you guys are thinking. I'm curious what you guys are thinking about, what's your thoughts on Dillon Gabriel. So without further ado, the man joining me tonight, the man, the myth, the legend, Sir Michael Antonis. Mike, what's happening?
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
Hello.
But shout out to Mike. And we got our man Warren G out in the house tonight, Mike. He's back again.
Welcome back.
Shout out Warren G. Keep regulating. But Mike, let's get to it. The big question right now. Who's ahead, right? Who's ahead on the depth chart, Mike? I put in the title tonight. Should Shedeur Sanders start? Or assuming not start. Should Shedeur Sanders now be ahead of Dillon Gabriel on the depth chart? And obviously we'll start off with Dillon's performance first, Mike. So, Mike called me. I didn't really talk to Mike last night after the game. He was out doing something. And so when Mike called me this morning, when I called him rather, I said, "Hey, Mike, what'd you think of the performance?" And he started talking, and Mike, you took the words right out of my mouth. And so about who he reminds you of, right? And so here's what I thought of Dillon Gabriel yesterday. Mike, he played in structure, didn't he? Really well.
Yes, he did.
Played well in structure. When he had a really clean pocket, Mike, when he had all day, he could make all the throws, right?
Yeah. Throws piss missiles, dude. Didn't know his arm was that strong.
Got some piss missiles, as Mike says. Throws an out route pretty well, Mike, right?
Yep.
Sometimes likes to evade the pocket a little bit, right, Mike?
Got to. Size.
Who does that remind you of, Mike?
He is
A poor
spitting
man's-
image of year one Baker Mayfield.
That's exactly. And Mike and I, when we talked today on the phone, I said Mike took the words right out of my mouth. I said I think he's a poor man's Baker Mayfield. That's what he looked like yesterday. Now, granted, it's just one game. I'm not saying that's who he is and that's it. Obviously, you can't say that. It's just one preseason game. But I saw a lot of similarities, Mike, to Baker Mayfield. He plays well in structure, throws piss missiles, as Mike said, likes to evade the pocket when he gets the pressure, can stand in the pocket, make some throws, but has happy feet in the pocket. But when he has to play outside of structure, Mike, when he gets pressured, he's going to face some, I think he'll have some troubles. And so, I mean, I thought, Mike, he, overall, I give him a C+. What would you grade him, Mike?
I think a C+, C is fair.
Yeah, I give him a C+, but that's who I think he's a poor man's Baker Mayfield. I don't think he's better than Baker Mayfield was coming out at all. But that's just some of the similarities. Now, his stat line yesterday, Mike, I thought, he started off the game pretty well, and then he had the bad turnover. And I feel like, Mike, after that turnover happened, he just slowly wasn't as good. It was like a slow digression. And then he botched the handoff. Can't have that happen. He did have a throw where he overthrew a screen pass. Can't have that happen. But I thought he did some things well, though. Like, I thought he
didn't play.
I thought he threw a lot of the intermediate throws a little like that pretty well. I thought he hit his layups, which will be said. That's what he did at Oregon. He was really good at hitting his layups, which is good. We said that one time, and somebody acted like that was a knock, which you must not know quarterbacks. But how to evaluate hitting layups is good. That means you're keeping your team on schedule. All right, he's staying in structure. I thought, Mike, he looked good in structure. He was very accurate. He could throw an out route like a son of a gun. And I thought he had good command. I still just think Mike, there's going to be some deficiencies in his game because of the height. And I think when he was in the pocket, he was good in the pocket at times. But then there were some times in the pocket, like early on, I think his first play, one of his first drive, Joe Thomas called it out on the broadcast. Like, you could see he gets a little more happy feet. And that's what Baker was. He was panicked a little bit. Now he improvised, converted the third down. It was a really nice throw across the middle. But I just don't see a guy, Mike. And again, it's only one game. I'm not going to judge the kid. I'm not writing the book. I think he can get better. I think he's got a lot of raw talent that's really good, right? You could see why he was successful in college. He was excellent in a lot of areas in college. But as an NFL quarterback, because a lot of that stuff in college, you can be great statistically and all that, but doesn't mean it's going to translate to the pros, because a lot of these systems, they're more good. These systems in college is where they get a lot of that production. They're more system guys, right? And you're pushing, you got 5-star guys all around you and a really good offensive line and a good running back. You know what I mean? It makes it a little easier on you. And so that's why here at Ohio State, a lot of people say, well, Ohio State quarterbacks don't pan out in the NFL because they have a lot of good talent around them, and at the collegiate level, and they put up great stats. But I think that's starting to change with Ryan Day. I think Ryan's doing a better job of that with Justin Fields and Stroud. I think Fields might have a good year this year, but we'll see. But anyways, Mike and Will Howard maybe, but to be proven. We'll leave it at that. But Mike, I think that's what he is. I think he's just he reminds me of a lesser Baker Mayfield because he has a lot of the same strengths and weaknesses. I think Baker was, like I said, in a lot of different areas, but I think Baker was just taller, and I think Baker was better at
minutely.
Baker was better out of the pocket, in my opinion. I think I saw Baker make some throws downfield out of the pocket that I don't know if he can make that yet. But
I think Dillon Gabriel is quicker than Baker is.
But I think Baker was a little more accurate, and Dillon's accurate. I thought Baker was a little more accurate when he was on, and I thought Baker had a stronger arm, and I thought Baker would try to go for the bigger play more. Like Baker could throw more consistently a dig route.
Yeah,
and I think that Dillon Gabriel, to me, Mike, one thing I saw a lot of yesterday was a lot of checkdowns. But it's okay. They kept them on schedule. But you got any more thoughts on this, Mike? So we move on to the depth chart. What's your take on all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think Gabriel played decent. I think he looked like an NFL quarterback. So did Shedeur. Now, different calibers of NFL quarterback, of course. That's why we're talking about this. But I will say after watching Shedeur and Dillon, and like you said, it's only one preseason game, right? And it's preseason. I will say I am feeling significantly better overall about this quarterback room than the one that we were trotting out last year. Both rookies showed promise, strengths and weaknesses in different parts, but overall, I think he played decent. That handoff mistake was egregious, though, and can't
Yeah, that
happen.
was he took a bad angle on that. That's playing under center too. Yeah, he didn't. As soon as he handed it off, I could tell. As soon as he was going to hand it off, I could tell it was all jacked up because the angle he took towards the running back, I was like, this isn't going to be good. Then you saw the ball fall. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and you saw him like realize he took a bad angle and he tried to overextend, and it just made it worse. And yeah. But overall, I was actually kind of impressed with Gabriel. More impressed with Jamari Thrash that game. But Jamari Thrash has solidified himself as a starter. He was excellent in that game. And he had some catches in the first preseason game, too.
Yeah, Jamari looks really good. I was impressed with him, too. I thought he's getting open consistently, making some tough catches, and yards after the catch guy as well. If he's able to, he can get out in space a little bit. But I think my overall thing with Gabriel, I think he's just kind of who I thought he was in the NFL, who I think he will be in the NFL. I think he's still got room to improve, but I just don't. I don't know, Mike. I don't see, and again, it's only one game, but we had a lot of, training camp as well. I just don't see a guy who I'm not sure if he could be a long-term starter yet. You know what I mean? Like I just don't see that. I see more of a guy who I think he's like a significant upgrade if he's our long-term backup from DTR. Like he's a lot better in DTR for sure, not even close. And so I think he's a significant upgrade from that. So and some backup quarterbacks, is important obviously in case your guy goes down, which we've had plenty of that in Cleveland, Mike. Where we've had guys go down, we had to rely on our backup. So it isn't very important for us, especially. But I just think that's kind of what I see more of. He's just, to me, he's just a backup. I still think he's just a long-term backup, but an upgrade from DTR. But I just don't know if he can't. I don't think he can play out a structure because of his height. And we'll get to the play in a minute. The pick six everybody's talking about from yesterday. I don't know. What do you think, Mike? Do you think he could be? Do you see flashes of somebody who could be a long-term starter, possibly?
Gabriel, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't see like flashes, but like,
if you had do you think overall coming out of that game, do you think he can?
I think he could start for somebody for sure. I just think
when I mean long, like, is he going to be a franchise guy? Is he getting a second contract? Like, do you see that with him? Now, obviously, it's a little early. It's only one game.
Not in Cleveland, but like
in the NFL period.
Yeah, I think he could be somebody's like journeyman starter for a year or two. Like a guy that can run an offense and not throw or turn the ball over a lot. And here, that pick six wasn't all on him. The handoff issues, I mean, he's a rookie in his first preseason game. He'll clean those up. But like guys like Dillon Gabriel, like a Kirk Cousins, somebody that can just run an offense, not throw a lot of picks. A team's always going to have a use for somebody like that while they're rebuilding. I think he could have a pretty good career in the NFL. I don't think it's going to be in Cleveland because we did draft two rookies, and I do think Shedeur is overall more talented, better suited to be a franchise guy. But not taking anything away from Dillon. I mean, if he keeps building on what he did, he very well could be a starter somewhere.
Yeah, and I agree. If Tua Tagovailoa can make it this far, I think this kid can find a spot in the NFL. There's some other guys that got contracts in the NFL that are starting. Again, I don't see him as a long-term starter, I don't see him as like a superstar long-term guy. You know what I mean? Like a guy that's like, he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL one day. You know what I mean? Maybe even top 15. But I think he can be around for a while. There's a lot of things he does well. He can run an offense very well. He hits his layups. He's accurate. Again, he can get the ball outside outside the numbers pretty well in some of those throws. He does a lot of things well. I just think he has some deficiencies because of the height. There's not many guys at that height that have really succeeded in the NFL, right, Mike? I mean, can you think of any? I mean, I can't think of that weren't injury prone, number one, but also had a long sustained career.
Right. I mean,
not many. I can't think of that. Not at that size. I mean, he's definitely the shortest one out there.
How tall is Russ?
6 foot. But Russ is also more stocky though.
Yeah.
Like he got some strength as his career went on, but I just don't see that with him. But he's still a very talented kid. But I don't know. Look at some of these comments real quick. We'll move on to the next topic. He said C is fair. Never threw for a touchdown pass, which he did,
That's
Mike.
true.
He his stats yesterday. I got pulled up here.
14, 13 or something.
Yeah, he was. One second, right here. Okay, he was 13 of 18, 143 yards, 7.9 yards an average, which ain't bad. 1 interception, 2 sacks for 11 yards, 72.2 quarterback rating. Your thoughts on the stats, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, pretty decent. I mean, quarterback's first start in preseason game. Like I said, I was more impressed. He played better than I expected him to play. So like I said, C outing.
He still got that injury, right? Yeah, he still has that hamstring. I mean, that's a good point. Thanks for bringing it up to him. I thought overall, Mike, I thought he moved well. I will say this though, Mike, on the handoff, I got a text from Coach, and I wonder if that handoff may have been, could the hamstring possibly affected that? Because he took a weird angle to hand that ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the hamstring, maybe just lack of reps because he's been out, or just had a bad play. But I thought overall though, Mike, you could tell he wasn't trying to get hit, obviously, which no quarterback you ever want to get hit, but definitely was not trying to get any contact at all. Remember that play where he scrambled out, he just slid down immediately. But I think the hamstring was, because that was one concern I had going in the game. I was worried about that hamstring for him because those are risky to play on. But I thought he moved pretty well. You could tell that rest off lead up to the game, just the kind of how they, slowly, ramped him up last week, and then into this week, you could tell that rest definitely helps. So I thought he moved pretty well, though, Mike. I didn't see a lot of issues with that, but hopefully it's, better going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Wish nothing but the best for the kid.
Yeah. So Toon says Shedeur over Gabriel. He said,
yeah, that's the consensus.
Who's getting cut? We'll get to that in a minute.
The whole cut down? I'll go through the whole cut down.
Yeah. And he had the most reps out of everyone. One guy said he's been practicing all those plays.
Yep.
Rose, shout out to thanks for showing the show. What's that, Mike? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, he had been practicing most of those plays. There are a lot of those classic Kubiak kind of style that Kevin ingrains in everybody.
And a lot of the plays Kevin called yesterday, he called for Shedeur last week.
Yeah.
I think that pick 6 play we're going to get to was the exact same play call Shedeur threw the touchdown pass. If that,
correct.
Says, Sanders, the guy. DG had first team receiver and a lot of checkdowns and a lot of blocking and a lot of tight end blocking, pick 6. When he got past checkdowns and handoffs, he collapsed. He is good backup game manager. I think that's a fair evaluation. That's kind of where I'm at, Priya.
Good game manager.
Or if that's how you pronounce it, I'm sorry. Thanks for joining the show, though. Tommy, good to see you. Said, are they willing to look this stupid going forward? Tommy, the Browns have looked bad at times for a while, right? I mean, hopefully they change. We're all Browns fans. We want the best for the Browns, but we'll see. DG played with 9 first team on offense and maximum protection. There was a lot of max protection, Mike. I did notice that.
Was a lot of max protection. As far as first team on offense, like Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash, DeJuan Jones, and that was it.
Zach Zinner's still getting his mojo back. You can tell he had a miscue early on.
Yeah.
Didn't ID that blitz. I think he'll be fine, though. I think he's just a guy coming off an injury, and he's had a rough last couple of years. I mean, he ended his last season in Michigan, Mike, on a major injury against Ohio State in that game, and then last year a rookie gets injured, so he's just got to get his rhythm back. He's got to get his mojo back. He'll be fine though. And they had him at right. He played left in college, but
right, and he'll probably end up playing left guard long term for us. But I mean, he's not going to
get it back.
Yeah, he's going to have. I mean, he has plenty of time. Joel isn't retiring till the end of the year, so
yeah. Tori,
if he does,
he said Shedeur Sanders will win the job.
I think so. I hope so.
Mr. 3000, good to see you. He said nope. I think he was answering the question. Is Shedeur ahead of him? He said nope. How can they even plan being that limited? Or how can the game plan being that limited? Are you talking about the injury, Tommy? I mean, I guess if you're talking about the injury, how can they plan? I mean, they're kind of just they threw him out there yesterday, hoping he was going to. I mean, he was a game time decision. So, oh, I see what you're saying now, Tommy. My bad, I misread it. My apologies. I see what he's talking about. He thinks Dillon's very limited, Mike, which we kind of point out some of the limitations. How can they game plan with his limitation? I would say, Tommy, Mike and I both agreed. He reminded us a lot, not as good, but a lot of the stuff we used to complain about Baker Mayfield, Mike, or used the narratives around Baker Mayfield early on in his career here in Cleveland. What were a lot of those things, Mike? Go ahead and point them out.
I mean, little flighty, plays well in structure. Everything has to be perfect around him. But otherwise, like good arm, accurate, strong arm, but can get flighty and, get happy feet. But I mean, as far as like limitations, I mean, like Kevin Stefanski famously, like he doesn't mind quarterbacks with some limitations. He prefers a quarterback that can kind of like, just manage the game, that plays within structure, that just follows the offense. That's why he loves Joe Flacco so much. I mean, Joe Flacco's 41 years old, and he loves playing with Joe Flacco because Joe just knows the offense inside and out, has a good enough arm to run it, and executes it at a high level sometimes.
And I think it's very similar to Baker. Like you said, everything has to be perfect. Or this was Baker early on in his career. Baker's a lot better now, but
we're just talking about like year 1 and 2.
Yeah, has to play well in structure. Has to have a super clean pocket a lot of times. He can improvise though. I think he did well with some pressure yesterday. Hits a lot of the checkdowns really well. Has to have a really good running game. And I'll tell you what right now, Mike, the Browns so far, 2 preseason games have really impressed me with the rushing attack. 4 almost 5 yards a carry yesterday on 29 attempts, 132 yards. And the rushing defense is on fire right now.
Oh my God! Nobody can run a yard on us, bro. And those are our benefits.
That might be one of the best rushing defenses in the league this year. They got a lot of depth on that front seven. They're looking really good right now. Really attacking the ball well.
I think the Browns defense is going to be top 5 this year. That's my hot take. I've seen enough in training camp and everything. I'm out.
I'm not with that secondary. We'll get to them. I ain't fucking with them. But anyway,
it don't matter. It don't matter if the quarterback's on the ground. He can't throw shit.
We'll see. I don't know.
Quarterback can't throw on the ground, Joseph.
Yeah, I get it. Shout out to Juwan. He played well again yesterday. But again, I think with a really good and that first drive, Mike, they ran the ball really well in that first drive, and he was able to sit back there, clean and deliver the ball, keep him on schedule, and he had a good drive. So it's a lot of similar layers to Baker Mayfield early on in his career. Question: the players have seen Gabriel being propped up and seen his limitations. Wouldn't they prefer Shedeur? That's a really good question. I think the locker room's going to tell you where they're leaning. You could just tell by their actions. I don't think it'll be like they'll just, if it's, let's say it's Shedeur, I don't think guys are going to, distance Gabriel. I'm sure they like Dillon. He seems to get along with everybody, but I do think the locker room, we'll go ahead and just talk. Mike, I saw a different vibe last week than what I saw yesterday on that sideline.
Yeah.
Which is okay. But when I see David Njoku hanging out with Shedeur a lot now, Joe Flacco's constantly around Shedeur a lot. Myles Garrett said last week, we're going to need you this year. I'm not saying they're not like that with Dillon. I'm sure they hang out and stuff, but I just see a different vibe with Shedeur. Maybe not. What do you think, Mike? Am I reading too much into that? Or do you notice that as well?
I mean, honestly, because Shedeur Sanders is such a media personality, I mean, the camera's been on Shedeur a lot, so we get to see those kind of interactions. They really haven't shown us a lot of Gabriel outside of his play, but he's been talking to guys. I mean, from what I understand from voices in the room, I mean, they like both of them. Both of them are great locker room leaders.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah.
I think Shedeur probably had some sort of relationship with these guys before he even got drafted, due to his like family and all that good stuff. But I mean, Shedeur is the more exciting pick for sure, and I'm sure guys want it to be Shedeur. The only thing that we really have to work off of is what Chad Ochocinco said on his podcast, that he was talking to Denzel Ward, and he actually he actually mistakenly name dropped Denzel Ward. He wasn't supposed to, and he had to apologize.
And they had Jerry Jeudy on the show too.
Right, but they had Jerry Jeudy on the show more so to talk about the team, and he talked about Shedeur a little bit.
What my whole point is, though, I think you could tell who he talks to and who he doesn't, and so
yeah,
I think you could tell. I think here's what I think, though, Mike. I think they all like Dillon too. I think Dillon's a likable kid. Yeah, I think I like Dillon. I've heard he's a nice, good teammate and stuff. Great leader in college. I'm not saying they're picking sides. Here's my whole point. I think a lot of that stuff here, these guys all read, they all hear, they all watch. Some of these guys watch Nightcap at night. Some of these guys, I think Njoku was just on Nightcap. They all hear that stuff. They see what's being written. They see what's on ESPN every day, what's being said on First Take. I think a lot of that narrative, I just think you're seeing a lot of the main guys on our team leaning towards Shedeur a little bit more because I think they're reading a lot of that stuff and hearing that stuff. Like that stuff gets in the locker room. Like these guys, they can act like they don't read and see all this shit. They read and see all this shit and hear it. And I think that's why maybe if Dillon was talking about the media yesterday when they made that comment, which we're going to get to that's probably why he made that comment. You know what I mean? Because here, there's so much scrutiny and stuff written on the Browns every day right now. These guys, it's getting in that locker room. There's a lot of pressure on that organization right now from the outside. And so maybe rightfully so in some ways. But I think that's a lot of it, Mike. I think a lot of them, like you said, they know Shedeur. They probably grew up watching him on TV. He was a reality star with his dad's show. Yeah. Everybody watches well-off media. You know what I mean? They kind of like, you feel like Shedeur a little bit because of how public he's been with his life. Yeah.
And he's just a great kid too, man. Like he's super likable, stand-up kid. He's the most, honestly, as far as Shedeur needs a little bit of a commendation there because I don't know how many kids like here. We all watch TV. How many child stars, reality TV show stars that were on those shows as children, don't end up well. Shedeur's ended up like he's a great stand-up kid, man. Was raised well, like does great things in the Cleveland community. He's only been here a little bit, but he deserves a commendation just for that. But
he's really fit right into Cleveland, which I knew he would. But he's really fit right in for sure.
But real quick, Humble, our man Humble.
Oh, hold on. I got it. Our first ever super chat is from our man Humble. Shout out to Humble. We appreciate you, Humble. That's very nice of you.
Thank you, Humble. Love you, bro.
Appreciate you. Said I love the real as much as you guys should. Salute Mike. Or salute Joe, Mike, Jersey, Ohio boys up, sunny days ahead. Woohoo, Cavs in 5. Shout out to first ever super chat. That's right. If you'd like the super chat, the super chats are now available. We'd really appreciate it. And thank you very much.
Go straight to the show. Helps out the show a lot.
Yeah. Thank you for helping us get to that point. Thank you very much. And so let me get back to some of my comments here. Where am I? I got a little lost here. Biff Skeety said, yes, Shedeur should be QB2. However, Stefanski, Barry, and Haslam don't want him there. They prefer Gabriel and Pickett. Look for Browns to put Shedeur on waivers, but the Browns want to sabotage Shedeur.
That's incorrect. Here, I get you want Shedeur to be starting immediately. We do too. He's more than likely going to win the QB2 spot eventually. One thing you should know about this front office is they don't really give up on draft picks unless like you're a very, very late round pick. I'm talking 7th round. And even then they try and give 7th round picks a couple of years. Ergo, Juwan Briggs, Miles Harden is in year 2. He was a 7th round pick out of North Dakota State. But this front office really does value their draft picks and their talent that they use on that. And they really do try and develop before, moving or doing anything like that. Now, Pickett is more than likely the odd man out from everything I'm hearing. He hasn't been able to practice in some time due to injury. Flacco is going to be the starter. At least that's like where all the reports are pointing. I'm like 98.8% sure that he's going to be starting. And Shedeur, if he keeps it up, is going to earn that QB2 spot. And, I've never understood the sabotage Shedeur kind of like narrative. Like, if they wanted to sabotage him, they wouldn't have traded up to draft him. They just would have let him go be a UDFA. I mean, there were 31 other teams in that draft that could have drafted Shedeur, and none of them didn't. And we actually were the only team to trade up to give him a chance. I think he is a better talent and warranted better than a 5th round pick. But the fact of the matter is, we are where we're at.
Here, I've said all along, I think this gentleman, Viral Authority, I like your comment here. He said, I'm starting to see why the Browns sucked all these years. Can't evaluate their way out of a brown paper bag. I'll take it a step further. The Browns have just always been very dysfunctional. And I think this whole quarterback conundrum is an example of their dysfunction. Because I think there were certain people that in that front office that like Dillon Gabriel. And I think there were certain people in the building that really forced Shedeur Sanders to get picked. I think Jimmy Haslam likes Shedeur Sanders, number one, because he generates $250 million of revenue already. What owner wouldn't like that? But also, I think him and Stefanski, they really spoke highly of Shedeur, especially Stefanski up until the draft, the pre-draft we didn't hear anything about Dillon Gabriel. But Dillon Gabriel, to me, is someone who I think that front office would go after with their analytic-based strategy of scouting. So, I think that's a lot of the reason. I think there's just too many opinions in that building, and there's not real alignment, like they say. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but from the outside looking in, it's what it's always been. It's been a dysfunctional mess, and I think that's a lot of it is reflecting this quarterback situation. How it'll play out, I think we'll get a better idea going into this week and going into week 1, and probably by week 4 or 5, if Joe Flacco and the team's not playing well, that's when they'll finally pull out Flacco, because Flacco is going to start the season. Maybe that's when we'll start to get to know the truth of everything, but I don't know. But again, I can't be. The Browns created that in a way. They put themselves in this situation, and it is what it is. They're going to have to just all this stuff on the outside. Are you sabotaging what? Here, you created the situation, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? But shout out to Rodney. He said, "Joseph and Mike, my two beautiful people. How are you this evening?" We're good, Rodney. How are you doing, brother? A lot of those passing yards were yards after the catch. I just learned that term. LOL. yeah. He got the ball out on time. He got the ball where it needed to go in a lot of those plays, and that's fine. You get yak, that's great. It's a first down. I just think out of structure, I think is where he's going to struggle, which I expected with his height. So
those are Kevin Stefanski's 3 favorite letters. You'll come to learn.
Yeah. Let's see. Catch up. We got a lot of comments in here, Mike. Oh boy. So let me see. We got Amber's back. Good to see Amber. I haven't seen in a while. He said, but they also knew Shedeur has the talent too.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a lot of comments. Okay. A new one.
Thanks for everybody for commenting, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I can't get to all of them because I'll be sitting here all night reading all these. But we appreciate you guys' comments. You guys are awesome. Esther, I think as far as the media hype is concerned, if Shedeur wouldn't have fell in the draft, then we wouldn't be watching so hard. It's just a feeling that he was done wrong that made the hype. I think it was talking about what you were just talking about, Mike.
And here it's created a great narrative. I mean, not just us, but like even on the national side of the media, you got like your Rappaports, your Schefters, your McAfees, all those guys are talking it up. And here when he wins, I do honestly think Shedeur will win that job at some point this season. And when it does, it's just going to be an excellent story. Like, especially if he turns into the franchise guy, like imagine what movie that'll make one day. You know what I mean?
Like he said, we shot the Mr. 3000. He's exactly. I don't believe they're trying to sabotage him either because the total draft assets they put into him, and it's about equivalent to a 3rd round pick. But him throwing the garbage cans and stuff is bad and unacceptable. And I agree with that. I don't think he should be throwing the garbage cans and stuff. That was complete bullshit. But it's only going to make the story that much better I think he will take over the season based on what I've seen so far this offseason and in the training camp. And so we'll get to that now, Mike. Should he be ahead of him on the depth chart this week? I think he should, Mike. I think he fits the system better. Yeah. I know I saw a lot of people online yesterday saying they thought Dillon fit the system better. I disagree with that. I think Shedeur was a lot calmer in the pocket. I think Shedeur's a more pure pocket quarterback. I thought Shedeur's just as accurate, if not more. I thought Shedeur is able to throw more consistent passes 15 yards down the field, which you're going to have to throw those balls in tight windows. I saw Shedeur do that more. I think Shedeur can overcome the limitations that, Shedeur's limitations to me, Mike, are a lot different, but have a higher ceiling than Dillon Gabriel's. Dillon Gabriel, I think, has got a ceiling because of his height and his limitations because of that height. And so I don't see that with Shedeur. I saw Shedeur do stuff in college, Mike, playing off schedule. A little Brett Favre-ish in a way, where he likes to kind of, maybe sometimes too much go off schedule, when you just kind of reel him back in. But I've also seen Shedeur play on schedule. Like last week, Mike, I thought he did a good job hitting a lot of the layups, but also, I mean, look at that pass to me to that Gage Laravian in that third down. I mean, that was one of the most impressive passes I've seen from a Browns rookie in a long time. We've had a lot of them here. I didn't see many make that pass, Mike. And so, to me, he should be ahead of him for sure. He needs to start getting them ramped up now. I think, to me, I think he's always what I've always said. I thought Shedeur was a first round, maybe early second grade. That's where a lot of people had him. Dillon Gabriel to me, Mike, was a fifth round and beyond, a fifth round at best grade.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
fifth to seventh. That's where I had him.
I said at best like a fourth round pick at best, but like that was being very.
Shedeur's always had the higher upside to me, and
absolutely
that's that. Your thoughts, Mike? Should he be ahead of him on the depth chart now?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's looked better in training camp. He looked better in preseason. I think he's earned it. And I think he will end up getting it. I think it was just a matter of learning the playbook. The one thing I think Dillon had up on Shedeur, and it's very minimal, but it's important when you put it into the context of getting into the NFL, is the fact that Dillon jumped around to so many different teams in college, learning so many different playbooks. Like maybe he had a slight advantage on that. But even then, like that's not enough to put him ahead.
I saw that report. He played for Pat Shurmur.
Right.
I just don't buy
exactly. That's the other thing too.
I mean, Dillon's I don't think, and Shedeur played a lot of starts. He started all 3 years. I mean, I get that. I get the terminology and all that, but a lot of guys in college, Mike, they're not calling in plays. They're looking to the sideline, reading off
reading the card
flip. So they're both kind of equal in a lot of ways.
Right.
Which I don't understand that. And I don't understand why he's not getting as many reps. We already went over that. I don't know if that's what they're putting out. I mean, I don't know if I buy that.
Right. I get that.
That's just me. But I don't know. Because I thought about that at first, and then I was like, nah, I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. Because I'm like, this guy played for Pat Shurmur, and they have a lot of same concepts at Colorado. I think I'll be honest with you, Mike. I think a lot of what maybe Shedeur is going through is just he had a lot going on in the spring with his dad, and I think too, it's the first time they're not playing for his dad as a head coach. I mean, this is new voices in his ear. You know what I mean? I think that could be a lot of it too. Or Dillon's already gone through that process of playing for different head coaches because he went to 3 different schools in college. This is Shedeur's first time not playing for his dad. I think that could be a lot of it too. It's just different voices. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a trust thing. And they're kind of, I mean, he's trying to earn trust to them, and they're trying to earn trust from him. You know what I mean? And so I think that was a lot of it, personally. But that's just me. Stefanski runs Patrick. Yeah, they're coming from the same terminology, same background and everything.
Yeah, best friends.
Yeah. Miss Pamela, good to see you. She said, here we go. Good to see you, Miss Pamela. But yeah, Mike, let's get to the play everybody's talking about yesterday. We'll put it full screen here. This pick 6 play, Mike, I have it on the all 22, which came out already. Give me 1 second. And we'll break it down real quick and kind of what I see on this play. I think Dillon and the receiver are both at fault here. And so here's the play right here, Mike. Let's play it. Here we go. He rolls out left, keeps going, and jams it to the side and gets picked off by Andrew Makuba, who I really like coming out in that draft. He looks good, Mike.
Makuba, yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he might start for them at some point with Cooper Gene. That'd be nice. But so here's what I see on this play.
I wonder who had him high on his draft board. Who has a show on this channel as well?
No, we both had him high.
Yeah, we did.
Shit, I wish we would have took him. I was like, please get him. We still need a safety. But anyway, so here's what I see on this play, Mike. right here. Who's open? Who's that, Mike? That's Diontae Johnson, right?
Sir Johnson.
Johnson's open. The tight end's open. I think Dillon held the ball too long on this play, Mike.
Yeah, he had the timing off. This is 1-2 out.
These are shorter routes here. This is a bang play. As soon as he comes out of the boot, these are short routes. You got to hit the ball now. I think right here, that ball should already be getting number 16, Diontae Johnson. He's looking right at him. He could step right up. He could scale that pocket or scale right up the hash here and get that throw off clean. He's got the alley, got the lane to get the ball. Nobody's in the throwing lane. And he might have actually skirted this upfield, Mike. And I saw a bunch of people yesterday talking about all the stuff that happened over here, Mike. First thing I pointed out, first thing I spotted was this right here. Just throw the ball now. The ball should already been out. These are short routes. The ball's got to get out. He's on a shallow across the field, right? And so let's watch Diontae here down at the bottom. He's going to roll out. Deontay's running a shallow route. Ball should already been in his hand. Now, right here, Mike, this is where Diontae Johnson messes up. So when Diontae doesn't get the ball, Mike, here's what Diontae should have done. This is where it is on Diontae in a way. Now, Dillon right here, Mike, he's not. Nobody's open. Now, he is open right here. I don't know why he didn't throw that right there. I mean, he's open. Just dot him right there. You're not. This play is already kind of broken in a way because he took too long to get for it to develop. Well, because you didn't throw the ball. But right here, Mike, Diontae starts to fade down this way south when he should be going up towards this way and giving proper spacing. This spacing right here is all messed up. So I get where he was trying to go with the ball right here, Mike. He's the tight end starting to get away from the defender after a little window. You see here, Diontae loops back and runs right into him, and Andrew McCool was able to pick that off easily because Diontae led him right to the ball, and so that's on Diontae right there. Now, right here though, I don't know. I think Dillon, because people got to realize how fast the speed is of the game. Like this stuff's going. This is first NFL game. The speed is a lot faster the higher the level you go from college to pro, even from high school to college. And so I think right here, when he starts to throw it, Diontae shoots down late. He sees the right window, but Diontae F's it up by running down here and messing up the spacing. But I think where Dillon really messed up, Mike, on this play in particular was back here. He held the ball too long. The ball should have got out sooner. Right. Again, I'll play it again. Right there. Right there. Ball should already be out.
He should have planted. He had a chance to plant too.
He could have skilled right up and threw that right into Diontae Johnson. Diontae might have scooted right past him and got upfield, Mike. If he gets past that defender, you got a blocker here, that might be going to the house. You got to get that ball out. And this is the same play they ran when Shedeur threw that touchdown pass last week, Mike, and Shedeur got the ball out quick. You got to get the ball out quicker.
Oh, absolutely.
Your thoughts on the play, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, Dillon made a bad. Well, I mean, I don't even know what he saw the read. I don't know why he didn't throw it. And then made another bad determination by keeping rolling left. And then the receiver and the tight end both made a little bit of a mistake, but here at the same time, like Dillon had a chance to make the play, didn't. Yeah,
and I don't understand why he held on the ball. He should have just threw.
Should have planted and thrown.
He should have.
The play was there.
The ball's got to get out quicker. Everybody keeps talking about all this stuff down here with the tight end's hands and all that. They shouldn't even been in that position to begin with. Any coach is going to point. They're going to look right to this right here. That's right there. He's open. Just hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, right on the hash. That's where the ball should be going. Right on the timing. He could scale right upfield. He's got space. But by the time he looks, Mike, when he sees it, now he can't throw because Makuba's coming down on him. That's going to get your receiver killed. And so, yeah, but again, he's still open right here, Mike. I don't know why he's not. He just doesn't see it. But again, I think somebody made a pretty good point right here. It looks kind of one read. He gets focused on one read, Mike, and he took him too long to go off to the next read.
Right.
Now that was you could clearly see it on his play. Now again, there was other plays where he went through his progressions well, and so I think it's just a lot of learning curve for him. You got to give him some grace. He is a rookie. I get there's a battle going on here, but he is a rookie. Both are rookies. Just like last week, there was plays I thought Shedeur could have been better on, but I give him grace because he's a rookie. You know what I mean? So, but this is definitely a learning moment. You got to get that ball out. Got to get that ball out. That ball should already be there to him. He's open, and I saw nobody point this out yesterday, Mike. I'm like, it's a quick hitter play because as soon as he comes out of the boot, these are shorter routes. He's only running a shallow 5 yards up the field. So, and the tight end's running a short route here. Hit him. They're open. Hit him. I mean, look at his. I think his defender's all the way back here, Mike. Yeah. Nobody's near him. I don't know. So, any more thoughts on this play, Mike? This is the one everybody was talking about. I wanted to cover. And again, I'm gonna break down all the throws from the all 22. I'm gonna put that film breakdown out this week, and I'll put that out for you guys. But what do you think, Mike? Any more else on this play? Or are you good?
No, I'm good on that.
Yeah, that's all I see. Again, and towards the back, we'll talk about this part right here. Everybody keeps talking about. Dillon actually read it right. He's actually coming out. The window's right there for that tight end. I see what he's trying to do. It's open, but he should never been in that position to begin with. He put himself in that position, and I think you didn't see Diontae Johnson. Probably, maybe that's a height thing. I don't know, but he didn't see. And again, there's the processing is so fast, and at the NFL level, it's the highest level. It's a fast speed, and so I think a lot of people don't understand that because they don't understand that. They haven't been out, you know what I mean? They don't know. But it's super fast when you're out, especially in your first NFL game. These guys are a hell of a lot faster than even in college. And so I think Diontae, though, here, Mike, I don't know what he's thinking going back down. And I don't get the space in there. Maybe the tight end went a little too high. But if I watch that, let me watch that one more time. Because I think maybe that might be on the tight end in some ways. Let me see. Yeah, I think the tight end went up a little too high. I mean, I get he's trying to get open. He went to the top of the defender.
I think it went too. Didn't he go too shallow?
Yeah, it went a little too shallow. But I think Diontae's got to have a little more awareness here. You see him coming up, just go out. And I think if you're Diontae, if you're trying to get this, you're trying to still be in play, right? You're trying to still get open, run the angle here, because the safety's coming down. If the safety's coming down, you take the upper. Watch, I'll point it out right here. I think where Diontae's going to be better is right here. You got to use your angles. Right here, he's coming down. Right? See how he's moving south, Mike? What should Diontae do? Should he keep running south with him or should he go up?
Yeah, you got to take the angle.
You got to take the angle because it makes him flip his hips and shift. You got the angle. You got a window right here to get the throw off. But he goes south. So I think it's a bad overall play. I think it's a learning curve for all three of these guys, to be honest with you, Mike. So I think all three of them will definitely have to, learn from that play. But again, he should have never even been in that position. He should have got the ball out sooner. And so, that overall that plays on him. The ball's got to get out sooner. Back here when he was open. Right. Here, ball should already be out. He's open. Hit him. At least, and if you're not going to hit him. He's open. I don't get it. But that's it on that play, Mike. Now we'll move on, Mike, to the comments after the game. Oh, yeah. This is a good point here. Speaking of Diontae, I don't think he should make the team. He has a history of bad team player and dropping the ball. I'm glad you brought that up, Priya, because, Mike, you know what I said in the text this week to somebody? What I predicted? What does that say, Mike?
I don't think we'll see. I think we'll see a Gabriel pick six on throw to Diontae. Yeah, man, Diontae's just been low energy, low effort.
You know why? You know why I pointed that out, Mike? Because I pointed out a play on the all 22 last week where Shedeur threw a screen pass, got the ball out, nice pass, and the play got completely blown up because Diontae Johnson threw one of the most half-ass blocks I've ever seen. And then the Mike didn't even try to make up for it. It just completely quit on the play and walks off pouting after the play. And his body language to me, and then remember that play, Mike, where the PI should have been called. But Diontae, no wonder if you go watch that play, and I pointed this out in the all 22, when he came out of the jam, he was so just lethargic. I'm like, no wonder why his ass got thrown to the ground because he's just going through the motions. It looks like when he's out there at some of those plays, and then you see some plays he makes crazy catches. He looks okay. He looks great. But let me tell you something right now. I heard a report today from Dale Ryder said on the show today that Gage Laravian, is that his name? Laravian? Lavarden, excuse me. Gage Lavarden, who we've been high on, everybody has, that he's going to be on the practice squad. Let me tell you something. If that kid gets put on the practice squad and Diontae Johnson makes the team, that's terrible. There's no reason Diontae Johnson, with his effort alone, should be out there on that freaking roster ahead of Gage Lavardin, who's worked his ass off and had a pretty good preseason. Your thoughts, Mike?
No, I agree. I mean, here Diontae, and here the Browns aren't tied to Diontae Johnson. They signed him to like the cheapest vet minimum deal that you could sign a receiver to. So they could easily just cut him. He's not guaranteed a roster spot. He never has been. I don't think he's earned it. You know, he hasn't looked particularly good in preseason. He's had moments in camp where he's looked fine.
Body language. I can't get over the body language. I just can't. And there's a reason why I predicted this play. This text I sent out was on Tuesday. There's a reason why I predicted it. Because I could just, when I went back and watched the All-22, Mike, I could not tell but just look at him at number 16 and see the body language at some of those plays. And I'm like, this guy, my gosh, did he not learn from the incident that happened?
Yeah, man, I don't understand either.
I'm not somebody that goes, I'm pro player. I'm very pro player. I get
we all are.
And I don't know all the details of what happened. But again, it wasn't a good look. And a lot
but
of people
bro's fighting for, a job. Like
exactly. You got a reputation. You got people think you're a quitter, dude. And I'm not saying you are, Diontae. Here, you made it to the NFL. Congratulations. You more than any of us, 2% of the population. You know what I mean? You made it, brother. Congrats to you, for real. But you gotta, the effort, bro. Come on, man. You gotta be like that block you threw last week back on that screenplay. I watched it, and then I'm like, it completely blew up the whole play.
Yeah,
and
dude.
And the body language, just moping after the play. I'm like, dude, they're watching you. And then
are we just
go ahead? And then he runs into the tight end on the route.
Are we his fourth team since he got traded from the Steelers? Because he got traded to the Panthers, got released or cut. And then was it Texans, then Ravens, or was it Ravens and
that's a good question. I know he got drafted by Toledo guy. I remember him at Toledo, was really good, third rounder. Went to Steelers, was with the Ravens. I don't know where he was before. I think we might be his fourth team. Or maybe his third.
So he's bounced around a lot since he got traded, man. And he's fighting for his NFL future because, like you said, he's known as a quitter. Or no, maybe I think it was a comment I saw. He's known as a quitter. Like he hasn't been a team player like for some time. And he's got to show more effort, man, if he wants to earn a job.
I agree. Mike Smith said, you guys are making excuses for Dillon. I hope Shedeur can get out of Cleveland, go to an environment where he's appreciative of. I don't know if you just tuned in, Mike, or you never seen the show, but I've been pro Shedeur all along, and I said Shedeur should be number 2 on the depth chart behind Joe Flacco. If you saw my film breakdown, I actually blame that play on Dillon, so I probably would go back and watch that and maybe then go from there. But we appreciate you tuning in, Mike. Good to see you. And Q Dog, what's up, Q Dog? Good to see you, brother. DG rolled out left hash with nobody in his face, and he is a left-handed quarterback. There is no reason the ball wasn't thrown away. Can't make excuse for that. And Q Dog, I don't know if you saw the end of my breakdown. He should have threw the ball earlier. He was wide open. Diontae was open around the shallow, and he didn't throw it. He should never have been put in that position at the end of the field, on the other side of the field to begin with. I appreciate you, Viral Authority. The Browns don't deserve Shedeur. Diontae thinks he deserves the most chance and has a history of not blocking. Refused because it was cold.
Well, I remember that. Was that when he was playing with the Ravens?
Well, I tell you what, it was what was it, 85 and sunny in Carolina last week, and he threw a one-handed block and didn't even touch the guy. And then after that, oh my gosh, don't even get me started. The one thing I cannot stand, Mike, was when I see that kind of effort on film because it blows up plays and people start blaming everybody else. And a guy like Gage Lavardin, who's worked his ass off and should make the team, and he's somebody they actually need, even with the Isaiah Bond sign, which I totally forgot about that. We'll get that in a minute. Gage should make that team just off of pure effort over that guy, because Gage has worked his ass off, and that's a disgrace. And that Gage is going to be put on the practice squad when the guy's clearly got NFL speed, made a guy fall to the ground last week, getting open consistently. Why not let him get out there and get the reps? He's got chemistry with both the younger quarterbacks, especially with Shedeur. What are we doing here? I don't get it. I feel like the Browns do sometimes, Mike. They do the opposite. Yeah, it reminds me of At one time, Mike, I went to a new school in high school, and this high school was the culture of football is not like a lot of schools in Ohio. We'll just leave it at that, right? At the time. I remember one day, Mike, I was walking in the hallways, and some of the high schools, Mike, they got pictures of the school associated with the school up on the walls. And I
think
remember,
so.
yeah, so this school, they had a lot of pictures up to the school related to school. So one day I'm walking in the hallway, right? I took the pass out of class to use the bathroom. And as I'm walking back, Mike, there's a picture of a football game, Friday night football game. So, of course, I stopped to look at that. And you can clearly see the scoreboard in the picture, Mike. And then here comes walking down the hall, great guy who I got to know before I left, I think it was the assistant AD at the time. He walks up behind me, Mike, and he says, "What do you see in that picture?" You know what I told him, Mike? I said, "Look at the scoreboard, we're losing." I feel like the Browns sometimes, Mike, they like to hand pictures of the scoreboard losing around the building by their actions. That's what they remind me of. It's the culture. Like the fact that we're going to allow Diontae Johnson, if with this effort he's shown in preseason, to make the roster over Gage Lavardin, that's a disgrace to me. That's all.
Yeah,
that's my rant.
and granted, cut down day's coming, and I hopefully Gage makes the team, and Diontae. I don't think he's going to make it. Maybe Gage doesn't make the team, and Diontae doesn't make the team, and they try and look for another veteran wide receiver elsewhere. I know the free agent market's dried up a little bit, but there's still some guys out there that maybe could give you some decent reps, or maybe with a trade. I know John Mechie just got traded today.
I like John Mechie. Oh, we got to go 1 second, Mike. I got to get to it. I got used to this.
Oh, my man, Lawrence.
Our second super chat.
Thank you, bro.
Go. Congrats on being monetized. Thank you, Lawrence. You were a part of that, helping us get there, Lawrence. We say every subscriber didn't go and appreciate it. We really meant that, Mike, because you guys helped us a lot. Thank you, Lawrence. Good to see you, brother. He said, congrats on being monetized. If you were Coach Stefanski, do you check your ego and make the switch, or can he afford to keep everything as is? DG is just not the guy. Popularity aside, the team shows it. I agree with you, Lawrence. I think Shedeur should be ahead. I don't know. Do you think it's Stefanski's call, Mike? Because last year we had a Didi King of Blau, who's very connected to these guys, sideline reporter CBS, say that she doesn't believe it's Kevin Stefanski has full autonomy on a lot of things.
I think he has more.
That's concerning.
Yeah, it is. I think Stefanski now has more autonomy than he has ever before. And here, I'd harken back to Jimmy Haslam's interview. They asked him flat out, like, "Hey, are we going to see both rookie quarterbacks in like live games this year?" And Jimmy's response was like, "We have to." That was his response. It's like, "Yeah, you're gonna for both of them." And so I think that was pretty telling. So yeah, I think you will. It's just a matter of who you see first, and I think Shedeur is going to be who you see first.
Shout out to you though, Lawrence. Appreciate you, brother. She said, I think they'll choose Gage over Diontae. Stefanski, quote, not all interception are equal. Blame Diontae. I hope you're right. He deserves to make the team over Diontae, in my opinion. Shout out to Lawrence. Absolutely. Shout out to Lawrence. Do you all remember Shedeur's warning to owners pre-draft? I forgot about this. Thanks for putting this in there, Viral Authority. If you don't want to change the culture on your team, don't draft me. Well, the Browns accepted the offer. I'm glad they did, Viral Authority, because I think they need this guy's changed the culture everywhere he's been. And already here in Cleveland, Mike, he's the first guy on the field every day. And you see the relationship with David Njoku forming out on the field. You see it with Myles Garrett. You see it with Joe Flacco. He's got a little juice in that locker room already, Mike, and in the building.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's really cool to see our veteran players too, kind of like taking time out of their, out of training after training camp's over to help them out. David Njoku's done that. Myles Garrett, the face of the franchise, has done that. So that's really, really cool to see everybody embracing the young guys.
Yeah.
And a budding friendship between Shedeur Sanders and Carson Schwessinger as well. Carson's been helping him a lot, being a Mike linebacker, letting him know like what he's going to be looking at, what he sees, all that good stuff. God, I can't wait to watch that kid play live, man. I'm so glad he's a Brown dude. I'm going to get a Schwessinger jersey.
That dude's he's a bad dude.
He's a monster.
Dude. Joining us now, though, Mike, we got two guests. We got Jerseys in the house, and
what
our
up?
buddy Joey DiBiasio's in the house.
Oh, the delusional fan.
What up? Shout out to Lawrence for that super chat. Makes me, Lawrence, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Coming on here supporting my son and Mike and any of the super chats. Just means a lot. He worked his ass off to get to this, to get to this point. And I can't tell you how much how passionate he is and how much he cares about all of his followers. He really talks about trying to give everybody an opportunity up here, whether it's chat, call-ins, people coming on live. So just appreciate it all. Just when I came on, I saw that, and it was just it was just amazing to see. I didn't even know what the hell the yellow meant until I heard him say that, the yellow, chat that came through. But just really appreciate it.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know you were gone.
No, I froze for a second. Somehow. Shout out my man DFJ Hoops is in the building. Shout out DFJ. Covers a lot of Philadelphia 76ers mainly, but he covers a lot of NBA stuff. Go subscribe to DFJ Hoops. Great guy, my guy Joe. Good to see you, brother. Basketball season's coming back here soon, brother, so we can talk ball again. But for now, we got to talk football over here. But good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Go subscribe to him. Go subscribe to TuneIn Sports as well. You see him in the chat. He covers all things Cavs and NBA related as well. So go subscribe to both those guys, both content creators, and you guys will love them. So go subscribe to them. Mike, I'm actually going to let you co-host for a minute because I need to go take a break for a second. But
you got it.
I'm a little hungry, but I do want to play this real quick again, Mike, because I want to start off with this with Joe and Jersey, because I know I really want to see what Jersey says about this. And so here we go. So here's the pick six play yesterday, Jersey. Everybody's talking about, and so I'll replay it for you. I think this was it right here, Mike. Did I pass it already? I think I did pass it.
I think you. Yeah, you did.
Let me fast forward.
I think this is right here.
There it was. So this was the play yesterday, Jersey. I know you didn't see it yet because you were working, but and Joe, you probably saw it. Here's the play, and I'll play it first, and I'll give my breakdown of what I said should have happened. Then I want to hear what you guys have to say. So here's the play, and he's going to boot out left. And he's going to throw the ball into traffic, and it's going to get picked off all the way to the house. Right? And so what I saw in this play, we broke it down already a couple minutes ago, but what I saw was right here. The ball should already been out to number 16. As soon as he came out of the boot, his eyes are downfield. These are guys, he's on only 5 yards up the field on a shallow. These are quick routes, quicker play. This is a quicker play. I think the ball should be out right here, and he might actually be able to turn that field, especially right about here. That ball should be on its way and getting into his hands. One guy to beat. And if he's not going to throw it there, at least hit this guy. Now, when he gets down here, I don't think this was fully on him. I get the window he was trying to see with the tight end getting open right here. I think Diontae, just like that fly route, Mike, that I put the 9 route last week, gets look. What's he doing, Mike? What's he getting shoved? Right? You see the hands? I didn't even notice that until I watched it again. Diontae's getting thrown off the route again, but we're gonna Gage can't make the team. Yeah, nothing against Diontae, but don't get me started. And so he throws the ball, and it gets picked off. I think he still should throw it out of bounds, but still should have been in that position to begin with. Should have threw the ball out sooner, my opinion. Now again, he had a lot of great plays too. I thought he got. This is just one example because this play, a lot of people are talking about it. And I think a lot of people are talking about what happened at the end of that play, but I think the ball should have been out sooner, and he should have never been in that position to begin with. And so I'm going to take a quick break. What's your guys' thoughts? Go ahead, Mike. Take it from here.
Indeed. What's your guys' thoughts? Jersey, how about you go first?
Well, I would have liked him to hit that tight end slipping out, because then you got a guy down. You already got a guy in front of him blocking. You got 2 guys, 3 guys really upfield blocking for you already. Plus, it's a safer pass. If you didn't feel comfortable dumping it over, that tight end was an easy one. So, but should have just dumped it out of bounds. Just a mental error. I did get to watch his highlights. I'd give him a C. I didn't think he looked terrible. He made some good plays. I think the footage I got to watch, I didn't get to see him really throw it downfield. If he even did, I would love to see that. But I mean, he hit some passes he should have hit. He missed some passes he should have hit.
Yeah.
He missed some. He threw it. He threw it to the wrong guy many times. Even when it was caught, it was thrown to the wrong guy. But like I said, I don't think it was terrible. From what I saw yesterday, does he look like a guy that can have a career, at least maybe on a backup role in the NFL? Maybe. So, I mean, it's a really early tell, but like I said, I saw some things that I was like, well, it didn't seem too bad, but I mean, those little screens, those little 5-yard slant routes. I mean, you have to hit those, but a lot of them he's throwing behind the guy or throwing them up over their head. So I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I don't think a guy that height can. I just don't think a guy at that height can play in the NFL
Right.
at a high level.
Unless you're
too
like
difficult.
a freak athlete.
Shit, I don't even. Yeah, I mean, you can't see over the lineman.
Kyler Murray's found success being a shorter quarterback, not as much as he was touted when he was coming out of Oklahoma. But I mean, but also Kyler Murray is just a freak of nature athlete. That dude is so elusive.
Well,
Dillon just doesn't have enough of that.
If you take his athleticism away, he's not even playing.
Correct.
Take his but see, that doesn't get you. He's never going. Kyler Murray is never going to be leading a team deep into the playoffs or the Super Bowl. It's just not. The attributes aren't there. You can't do that just scrambling out all the time. So
Right.
Lamar Jackson can do it because he's 6 foot whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, he's actually improved. I've always picked on Lamar Jackson years ago. I just said some bitch couldn't throw the ball, but he's gotten better. And so Kyler Murray I don't even hear. If you take away that electricity from his legs, this guy's not in the NFL. So I don't know. I don't really care about that. But Gabriel to me just looked like a more athletic Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Just looked like a Baker Mayfield that didn't have concrete shoes on. So that was Baker's thing. He couldn't get out of his own way. It always seemed like he's stumbling everywhere. So, but here's to see. But I still think without a doubt Shedeur's the guy. I mean, that's the guy. It seems like everybody in the locker room wants. That's the guy that can change the culture. It's pretty obvious. So I didn't get to see Shedeur play. I had to watch highlights, but I really liked. I want to see him actually play live and see what he's got. Just to see the progress.
What about you, DB?
If we're talking about that one play with Gabriel, I felt like there was a lot going on in that play. I think the receivers kind of set up Gabriel there. There wasn't enough spacing on their routes. I also think it was also on Gabriel because he threw it into a crowded room. And then towards the end of that play, you can see I think the tight end lifted his hands up, like assuming like he wasn't going to catch the ball, like he thought it was going to go to the receiver. I didn't know if Gabriel was intending for the tight end or the receiver on that play, but he shouldn't have thrown it into that crowded area anyway. And it just ended up being that as a result. But so I think half of that play was on Gabriel, half of it was just on the execution of the tight end, the receiver not giving enough spacing. But you would like to see Gabriel either throw it earlier, like how you guys said, or just throw the ball away and not force it into that tight window.
Yeah, what did you think of his play overall? Do you think he played better than you expected, worse than you expected, about how you expected?
Yeah, I watched a lot of it today because I didn't get to see the game live, but I watched all his throws, his good ones, his bad ones. If I had to put a grade on it, I would give him a C. Shedeur last week, I would give a B plus. So I think Shedeur has definitely outplayed Gabriel from what we've seen in these 2 preseason games. Gabriel came off that hamstring injury. You don't know if he's 100%. Not saying that's an excuse, but he looked like he was throwing the ball pretty well. Looked like he was pretty mobile from what it seemed. So it looked like he was healthy out there. Um, I would like to keep Shedeur and Gabriel just from the upside, assuming Flacco starting, which is what it looks like. I would like to keep Shedeur and Gabriel just from Gabriel's upside. We all know Shedeur's upside, but Gabriel's upside over a guy like Kenny Pickett. But I don't know. I really, I'm sticking with. I think they're going to keep Pickett on this roster. Obviously, they're going to keep Flacco. I know a lot of guys in the locker room probably want Shedeur, but I also believe there's a lot of guys in that locker room that want to keep Pickett. I mean, you saw Kenny Pickett go to the Morgan Wallen concert with Joe Batonio, Wyatt Teller, some other guys, so they seem to have formed a good relationship with Kenny this summer. And I'm sure they have good relationships with the other guys too. So, but at the end of the day, you can't keep 4 quarterbacks on your roster. So
let me respond. Let me respond to what you just said with a little bit of something. So here's the thing. We're not going to keep 4 quarterbacks, and the quarterback that is getting cut is Kenny Pickett. Cut or traded, one or the other. He's gone. Now, here's the thing. I've been in my field of work for nearly 12 years. And in that time, I've met lots of dudes and ladies, but mostly dudes. And in that time, I've gotten along with 95% of the people I've worked with. And would you believe that I made some really great friends with some really terrible salespeople that just were not good at their job? I have no doubt they like Kenny Pickett. That doesn't mean he's good at his job. I invited out those sales buddies out to a beer or a dinner or what have you, but knowing that they were probably going to get bladed in a month. Yeah. And that's going to be Kenny Pickett.
And I think what I would say to that is it goes back to this narrative that the front office is going to stick with their guys. And I just believe that they feel like Dillon Gabriel and Pickett are more their guys than Shedeur. And even if Shedeur's the better quarterback, which we all believe he is.
I just don't think that's true. I mean, we traded up for Shedeur. Somebody said it earlier in the comments. It was a great point that what we traded for Shedeur is equal to a 3rd round pick. The assets that we gave up. So if you take that into account, we have the least invested in Kenny Pickett. I think he was more so the kind of like break glass in case of emergency. Like, because here's the thing: when we knew we were going to sign Joe Flacco, we didn't know what Flacco had left. He could have very well gone to camp and did his reps, and people be like, "Oh, 41 doesn't look good on Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe ain't looking too hot out there." I think that's what mostly it was. And now that we know that Flacco's fine, Shedeur and Dillon are both good. They're gonna trade Kenny hopefully for at least a 5th, which will net back a higher pick because we traded DTR in a 6th for him. So we get it back a 5th. You pretty much even out what you gave up, but it's my opinion.
No, I hear what you're saying there.
Shout out to DFJ. He's a Eagles fan. Y'all beat us, but it's only preseason.
We shall see. Do we play them in the regular season?
I hope.
I don't think we do.
I don't want to play them.
I don't know the last time we played the Eagles.
We played them last year, right?
I don't think did we?
They went on that winning streak, and they started with us. I'm pretty sure. I thought that was us.
Stacy, good shout out to you. She said, Stacy says Barry will keep Shedeur and Dillon. Pickett will be gone. Pickett is gone. It's going to be mark my word. Stacy, that's what Mike and I predicted before the season.
Great minds think alike, Stacy.
Yeah. Who would you add if you cut Kenny? Could you use another use other offense? No, defense seems so. I think you need another veteran corner, somebody in that that secondary right now. If you ain't got Denzel Ward or Greg Newsome out there, it's hit and miss every week. Cam Mitchell, who looked good last year at times, the younger guy, he has not had a good preseason. Got beat yesterday, another touchdown play. I'm just not as high on Cam Mitchell right now in that back seven. To me, is just not doing well.
Miles Hardman's look better, which
a little better, but I just don't see anybody. I mean, the guy, the veteran, I didn't really get to watch him fully until yesterday. I thought Tony Brown week against Carolina was better, the veteran, because he was a little more physical on jamming guys and just thought he just competed better. But the secondaries, that's the biggest flaw in the team right now is the secondary, in my opinion. I think quarterback play you can get to a good enough level. I think running backs would be great. O-lines look pretty good in the running game and been better. I think O-line be fine. The receiver,
shout out Luke Whippler, future center.
Go Bucks. But I think the receiver room, who we were all kind of not as high on going into the season, doesn't look as bad right now. I mean, you got Jerry Jeudy. You just added Isaiah Bond, and we'll get to that in a second. I want to hear Mike's quick thoughts on that and Joey's. But I think Gage Lavard should make the team. I think Jamari Thrashers look good. I mean, Luke Flory is going to be on the practice squad. I think he's looked pretty good. Cedric Tillman still. So I think the receiver room will be a little better than we thought, I think because they had a lot of improvement. I think they got some guys that have stepped up and played okay. Ronnie Diggins says, so if they would have selected Travis, you would have your number 2 receiver at a DB.
Correct, but Mason Graham looks like an absolute dog. He looks like an absolute machine, and that defensive line needed a run stopper. And Mason Graham looks to be that dude for the next 10 years of his career. That dude's going to retire in brown and orange. We're all going to own his jersey at some point. Mason Graham looks excellent. And so does Travis Hunter. I would have been happy with either, but I'm not dissatisfied with having Mason Graham.
I know Jersey's thinking Mason Graham better be a future Hall of Famer to pass on Travis.
He looks awesome. Everything I've seen of him, the dude just looks like a machine.
Yeah, you passed on one of the soon-to-be greatest receivers, if not the greatest receiver in history for this cat. So,
damn, you think he'd be that good?
Travis Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I love Travis too.
I don't see why not.
All right.
I mean,
I know. We both thought we all agree we should have took him at 2, but I mean, I like Mason Graham. Mason Graham's been great, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they needed that. They needed that interior guy. So I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you got the first next year. I get it.
So yeah, I mean, next year at this time we might be saying, okay, yeah, now we see why they did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Pickett has some trade value. Do you agree with that, Mike? Or Joe?
Yeah, I mean, if Josh Dobbs had trade value, Kenny Pickett's going to have trade value. At the end of the day, it doesn't even matter if you're a mediocre quarterback like Josh Dobbs, like Kenny Pickett. At the end of the day, people like quarterbacks get hurt, and the pool of quarterbacks as far as position group in the NFL is the smallest pool of available players, and even less so the amount of quarterbacks you can trade for. So if an injury pops up, and there's already been a couple, I'm sure there's already been conversations between this front office and other teams, but Kenny Pickett does have some trade value, and the Browns always do this, man. We're always shocked when we have 4 quarterbacks every offseason. They always do this where they'll sign some dude or trade for some dude that people are like, oh, that's a weird one. And then they're gone by the end of the season, or the end of training camp, and they'll get draft capital for it. They do this every year. It's Andrew Berry's MO, and it's actually kind of smart. He signed Josh Dobbs off the street. He looked good in training camp. He got traded to the Vikings for like a 5th-round pick, which is insane if you consider what Josh Dobbs' career was up until that point professionally. So he'll take advantage of it.
Christian says trade him for a bag of chips.
I mean, 6 or 7.
Preferably Pringles.
I was thinking Doritos.
Oh wait, I want to learn Kristen something real quick. Fun fact about Pringles: there was a big hullabaloo back in the day with Pringles because they're technically not chips; They cannot advertise themselves as chips, but potato crisps. Lay's sued them because they're technically potato skins that are baked. Fun facts.
Yeah, send me some Sun Chips.
Ooh, Sun Chips are good.
But anyways, there's Mike's fun fact for the night. But
Fun facts
we'll
from
get
Mike.
on to the meat potatoes now, Mike. We've been saving for. Dillon Gabriel had some interesting comments during the game and then after the game, Mike. If you guys probably all know, he said that there's entertainers and there's competitors, and he's a competitor. And so here's the full clip of what he said on the field and then what he said after the game and the post game.
And you don't let it infiltrate yourself. Will you share that with everybody at home?
Yeah, I think it's just part of it. You know, there's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing. Of course, we're doing this mid-game, but you know, it's something that I'll get used to, and just want to be the best team that I can and create an environment where we can all go do our best work. That's all we want to do. You know, all you in this room are entertainers, and you have a job to do. And I respect it, right? And I'm a competitor, so I have a job to do as well. And I think, you know, just understand that. That's how I've lived by, and I've said that multiple times. So definitely a new quote, but something that I definitely said before. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people thought that was a shot at Shedeur, right? And I'll be honest, when I first saw it, because I read the comments, I thought I was like, it kind of sounds like he's taking a shot at Shedeur. Now he says, and the Browns and people have tried to, and I know Didi who interviewed him there on the field, put out a tweet saying that this was all spun out of proportion, that he wasn't actually talking about Shedeur. This is something he's always said throughout his career that he's used, that there's entertainers and competitors. This is a weird one, Mike, because I'll be honest, part of me wants to say it is a shot at Shedeur because his college coach, Dan Lanning, remember when they played Colorado, Dion's first year, said that Dan Lanning's like, they're playing for clicks and we're playing for wins and stuff like that, you know. And so that's kind of been like a narrative people have put out against the Sanders family, that they're all about entertainment and clicks and all this and that, right? And so I can see why people are saying that's a shot at Shedeur. Like, I mean, I know some people in the media today are saying that if you listen to what she asked him, and I'm not saying that might be true. I'm trying to be fair about this, like, and be honest. I get why, but I think maybe there's a shot that maybe, you know, he said that because that's something that's his motto. Like, there's entertainers and stuff. But I'm just curious. So since when are media, like, do you mean like people on First Take? Because I don't think Tony Grossi's an entertainer. He's just a writer. I mean, is he entertaining to you, Mike? Like, like, I don't think he's
Tony Grossi?
Yeah, I think he's just
no.
He's just a writer. He's just a writer. Shout out to Grossi, but he's just a writer. You know, and I don't. Yeah, he said for a shout out to Palm Tree Icon. He said that for clicks for sure. Since when was the media called entertainment? Did he mean announcers? I mean, there is part of media, like, you know, media like ESPN and all that. That's entertainment because they're trying to get people to tune in and watch. First Take is all entertainment. Well, that's why Stephen A's up there yelling and stuff animated. It's entertainment. But I don't listen, man. What did I say at the beginning of the show, Mike? He's a poor man's what?
He's poor man's Baker Mayfield. And here, taking shots at the media.
Let me finish. I'll let you go.
My bad.
You're good. I said he's a poor man's Baker Mayfield. What did Baker Mayfield do, Mike, beginning early on his career? He does not do now. Shout out to Baker now. He's really took off in his career and matured. But he used to say a lot of that kind of stuff, Mike. Remember that stuff Mike Baker used to say in the media?
Oh my God, yeah. Jesus, Tony. Like, just
he used to say all those little quotes, and people. There was always something. Woke up feeling dangerous. All this shit. It was always something. And it was like, why can't we? What did I say after Shedeur's press conference last week, Mike? That it was nice to what? Have somebody go up there and say, there's still a lot of things I got to be better at, and I'm going to move on to the tape and move on next week. I thought Shedeur just knocked it out of the park at the post game last week. But Dillon, it's weird because I get if that's his, you know, if that's his motto, like they're trying to say it is, I get it. But yet again, I think you got to have some awareness of what people are going to think when you say that, because you know what I mean. And now you got this at hand. Now they're not even talking about your game. They're talking about what you said after the game, and that can never happen, ever, for a quarterback. So I think it's a learning moment for him, definitely. But do I think it possibly was a shot at Shedeur? Yeah, kind of seems like it. I mean, to me, I mean, I know she asked the question a different way. That it's more of his motto, but again, since when are Mary Kay Cabot and Tony Grossi and all these, and that respect, I'm not calling them out, but respect to them. I don't consider them entertainers. They're just beat writers. They just report.
Yeah.
They write articles. Reading articles to me is not entertaining.
Dog, they've been trying to be entertaining for the past 15 years, still haven't figured it out. So,
Go ahead.
and that's not a shot at them. They're great. They're great. I love them. I read them all the time. But yeah, no matter which way you slice it, like if it's a shot at Shedeur, that's dumb, stupid, and awful. You don't bring down your teammates, even if you're competing for a job against said teammate. If it's taking a shot at the media after one preseason game and you're not the starter and you don't even know if like you're going to be quarterback 2, it's dumb, stupid, and awful. Like no matter which way you cut it, it was stupid. Like even if it was
Right,
his little catchphrase from college, even if it was, maybe that's something like, hey, maybe I should put that on the shelf now that I have a big boy job. You know, like I did stuff in like before I had my professional career that it's like, hey, I can't say those things anymore. I can't conduct myself that way anymore. Like I just can't, because I won't be employed if I do those things.
Like viral authority said, either way, he put his foot in his mouth.
Right, exactly.
There's just certain things, like you said, you hit the nail right ahead. It's your first preseason start. You just certain things like you can't say. Like you're just like you got to have a little awareness in the room. Maybe that's wrong, but I just think here a lot of guys that I see after their first preseason game, like Shedeur's last week. That's just an example. Or a lot of other guys. Yeah, I thought I played well. Team, we're looking to get better. We'll keep stacking each week. That's all you got to say. Just leave it at that. Don't say much. Don't don't give anything that's catchy. Don't try to be the Mr. Hot Boy to the media and try to trend on social media and all that stuff. And maybe that's a lot of it, Mike. Maybe he's trying to Shedeur's name's been buzzing so much. Maybe he's trying to get his name going. I don't know. Like these guys all think differently. They all read this stuff like we said earlier. They all see what's going on social media. Whether they don't read. They could say they don't read it or not, but they do. And there's so much on this team right now because of the situation. It's just too much for them not to see some of it. Jersey, what's your thoughts on this? And Joe, you go right after.
Here, this dude, you played in a preseason game. You don't have I don't care if it's shit who he's taking a shot at. You don't have the right to take a shot at anybody. Who the hell is Dillon Gabriel to take a shot at anybody? Whoever he's referring to. Like, if it was Shedeur, I mean, I could see why people would think it was. If it wasn't, if he was taking shots at other guys in the NFL, he's taking shots at the media. You're nobody in the NFL right now. You haven't earned the right to talk shit. Technically, you should never talk shit. But yeah, he realized when he said it that he had to switch gears real quick. So that kind of tells you that wasn't really aimed at the media. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when Tony Grossi asked him about it in the post game, you could tell at first he was kind of like thrown off a little bit, and then Mary Kay followed up. And I remember as soon as I saw it, I texted Mike. I texted you immediately, and I said this post game presser is not good.
I couldn't wait to watch it. Once you texted me that, I was like, oh no.
It looked so. I'm like, this is so awkward, and it's so unnecessary. You could just tell it was just kind of like one of those moments where you're just like, why in the fuck are we talking about this?
And even say I'm a competitor. Well, here. We all think anyone who plays professional sports is a competitor. You got to be playing professional sports. So shouldn't even have said that. That was just freaking stupid. He should have just said, here, I made a few plays. I missed some plays. I got to get back in the film room. I got to, you know what I mean? That's what he should have said.
Yeah.
But
normal rookie stuff. Exactly.
Yeah. So the fact that he couldn't say it is kind of alarming. The fact that he couldn't say that it makes you wonder: is this kid really coachable? Can he be? That it's kind of crazy. It's a bad thing when we're sitting around talking about a preseason post game press conference. That's a bad thing that's what we're talking about. That's, you know what I mean? So,
And what do you say to the people Jersey that are Dillon fans? Because it's weird, Brown's social media right now, Mike, is probably the most toxic I've ever seen. You got pro Shedeur versus pro Gabriel, and you could tell whose side they're on. I mean, there's a lot of people yesterday I saw they're pro Gabriel saying he was much better than Shedeur by far, and a lot of people on the other side saying no, the hell he wasn't. So it's like a war right now on Twitter on X. But Jersey, what do you say to the people though that it was taken out of context and blah, and maybe it was, but I think you and I, all of us agree probably that you shouldn't have put yourself in the position to begin with.
well, no, I would say to them, what did he mean by it? What did he mean by that?
And if it was what he meant, that it's about the media, why are you like you said, why are you calling out the media after your first preseason game?
Have you ever heard anybody call the media entertainers?
No.
I mean, they asked him about, apparently, I didn't hear the whole press conference, and I couldn't really hear it when you had it on, but it sounds to me like they asked him about his play. You're not going to automatically just start calling media members entertainers. You're not going to compare yourself to media members. If you're a football player, basketball player, baseball player, anything, you're in your mind when they ask you that question, you're comparing yourself to your peers. So he was taking a shot at someone or some people. But either way, you're nobody in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be doing that. And the fact that you can't bite your tongue or, it's not a good thing. Now, could he come around and learn from his mistakes? Yeah, Baker Mayfield did, but it's still not a good thing. You know what I mean? So, especially when you know you're against a guy like Shedeur, who's overwhelmingly more popular. Got the last name Sanders. He's got the pedigree. You don't want to go up and say something stupid like that. So that's the last thing you want. You don't want your team. The team number one has to make sure you can actually play on the field, whether you're backup, third string, whatever. They're going to keep you on the roster. Is this guy good enough to keep him on the roster? And then two, we don't want to have to worry about him saying stupid shit in post-game press conferences, and then we got to go fix it. You know what I mean? The trade-off's not there then. You know what I mean? We're not going to keep a guy on the squad that can't start, and then we got to control his mouth after the games. So that'll get your ass gone right away because they're not going to deal with that. So there's a trade-off here. If you're starting and you're winning football games, you know what I mean, and you're a legit quarterback, you can get away with some bullshit. It's like that in any industry. But when you're going to go out and run your mouth and you haven't even made the team yet, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have to worry about my PR people controlling you. So it's just stupid.
Shout out to Mr. Cleanup Man. Welcome in the show. He said the amount of grace he has received from his subpar play, and now this is very revealing. Bro is definitely 5'9". Shoot Gabriel as a look up to Kevin Hart. Oh man, he does look a little short in the press conference, Mike. I'm not gonna lie. He's definitely, you can tell the height definitely when he's out there running the other guys. But Joey, go ahead, brother. What's your take on this?
Yeah, when I first heard it, it sounded like a shot at Shedeur. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he didn't mean to point it at Shedeur like how you guys were saying. But I think it's just a tone-deaf kind of response. I mean, here's a guy that all the attention is going to Shedeur. You know, if I was in his situation, I would just want to go to work, outwork him as best as I can, and try and win the job. And, so you have to be aware of these things, that all the limelight's going to him. So you just have to be smarter in what you say and how you say it. And he should have recognized that before saying something like this. So even if it wasn't directly intended for Shedeur, he's got to be smarter in what he says.
It was arrogant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was.
Just
I
an
think, yeah. Go
kind
ahead.
of an arrogant thing, and kind of like, yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like what Dan Lanning was doing last year, the things Dan Lanning was saying, and then they got punched right in the freaking face, and then stomped into the ground in the same games. It's just stupid. I mean, I don't want anybody that's arrogant. You know what I mean? You just because it's like it's hard to coach, hard to teach. So hopefully the kid learns from it. I don't know. It just wasn't good.
Yeah, I think we all agree. It was again kind of like the pick six play earlier, Mike. Shouldn't have been in this situation to begin with. You would have threw the ball earlier, which again I can live with that because it's your first NFL start. You know what I mean? I expect a mistake like that. But this cannot happen out there off the field. So we shouldn't even be talking about this right now. I mean, this is like, I feel like again going back to like with Baker, Baker early on in his career, not now. Baker's a lot better now, but shout out to Baker. But early on in his career, that's why I said Dillon yesterday's play on the field and out the field reminded me of a poor man's Baker Mayfield. Because it's a lot of when he has really good structure and clean pocket, everything's good around him, he can do really well. Outside of that, he struggles. Off the field, says a lot of things that are a little polarizing to get people in the media, like us talking about stuff that we shouldn't be talking about. So, I don't know.
And it's crazy because if he continues to improve from where he was yesterday, this cat's going to make the team. You know what I mean? He's their third round pick. They don't want to cut him or trade him.
They're either going to trade him or bring him on the team because you invested a third on him.
Yeah, and they don't want to trade him because it makes him look bad. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be Flacco, Shedeur, and him. But if he, if he can't control himself, then he'll be out. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. Is he the kind of guy that's so arrogant that, and I could be wrong on this, but is he the kind of guy that's so arrogant that he just thinks he should be starting somewhere? Like, does he think he's beyond the third spot? The second guy on the bench. Is he beyond that? I don't know. I mean, I like a guy that's competitive, but you can be competitive and not say stupid shit. You know what I mean? I mean, here, the greatest competitors we've ever seen in sports, they really didn't even talk shit. But if they did, it was after they already started beating everybody's ass. So certainly not when they were green peas.
Yeah, be proven.
Well, he's a green pea. He shouldn't be saying shit.
Yeah, he said, he had the last part there. He said, Jersey is spot on. It was unnecessary comment. Speak to your actions and goals. He just potentially divided the locker. I thought of this, Mike and Joey and Jersey. You can go after them. Mike, do you think in any way, because the locker room could be looking at that comment? Because when I see David Njoku out hanging out with Shedeur a lot more now and Miles, and I wonder what they're going to think, Mike. Because again, I think like I said earlier, I think a lot of these guys, Mike, are reading a lot of stuff that's being on the internet. Such they're on Nightcap, they're watching it.
Oh yeah, I mean they see everything.
I mean, what do you think the locker room's going to think about this? I mean, I know they may say, okay, maybe he didn't mean it that way, but I just think there's going to be some guys in the locker room, Mike, are going to believe it went another way.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do have the plus of they're going to be able to go up to his face and ask him. You know what I mean? Like they're like, "Hey, bro, what was that about?" But I mean, I think there's already naturally just a touch of division, and I think there is going to be because I think a lot of the vets in the locker room want Shedeur to be the guy. I mean, we've heard it from Ocho that Denzel Ward is saying it. Miles has spent a ton of time with Shedeur, which is the most important one. That's your face of the franchise. And also David Njoku, who's a very vocal leader in the locker room, seems to be hanging around Shedeur a lot more. So, and here, maybe that's what spurned the comment. Maybe Dillon's, I mean, he's still young. Maybe he's jealous. You know what I mean? He's seeing like all the attention Shedeur is getting and seeing how all the players want him. And maybe he's like,
well, and here's where I have some, where I get kind of why Dillon's in a tough spot too. It's not as they put him in a tough spot because what
Yeah.
organization usually drafts 2 quarterbacks in the same draft in this type of never. I don't even, we've never really seen a situation like this.
They put him in a very tough spot.
They put both of those guys at a tough spot, and he was the guy taking ahead. I'm sure when he got drafted Friday night, he probably thought, okay, I'll be their developmental guy, possibly start this year, and all of a sudden, boom, it's Shedeur Sanders, who a lot of people thought was not just your typical 5th round pick. It probably should have been a lot higher, but first rounder, that's where we had him. But yeah, I mean, go ahead, Joey. What were you saying? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Gabriel's biggest flaw is that he's just not a vocal leader. And I don't think this will divide the locker room at all because I think the locker room's already gravitated towards Flacco and his leadership. You see guys gravitate already towards Shedeur, and I'm sure there's some guys that may go Pickett's route, but I don't think anyone's following Gabriel's lead from a quarterback standpoint, from a leadership standpoint. He just seems very quiet and standoffish, and he is in a tough spot because you have 3 other guys, but that's competition, and you got to go and do everything you can to win your job. So I don't think it's going to divide the locker room because I think the locker room already has a good idea of who they're going to follow.
Jersey free go. Rodney Dinkins said, Jersey, you okay with me, and the rest of the team is okay with me also. I just subscribed.
Well, I appreciate it, Rodney. I appreciate it very much, man. We just get up here and not bullshit and, try to make it entertaining and, just tell you here, what you see, if all of us, I'll speak for myself, what you see on here is who I am in real life. So 2 of these guys on here work for me, so they'll attest to that.
Some would say we're entertainers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're entertainers.
Yeah, we're entertainers. Shout out to our new viewer, East Blue Drew. Welcome, thanks for 2 days. Even
Dope
Flacco likes
game.
Shedeur for sure. Flacco loves Shedeur, you could tell. Let's see. Dion Jr. had a social media post saying, like, we can support Shedeur and Dillon. We're rooting for him in 12. Shedeur was rooting from sideline. It's a Dillon issue. And I think as fans, like when I'm covering this, and I'm trying to be fair, I want both to be successful because they're both Cleveland Browns. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I want the Browns to be good, but I'm also going to be fair in my evaluation. But I just think he shouldn't have probably said it. But Jersey, what do you think about the locker room pause? What do you think they're thinking about this?
I don't think they think any about it at all, truthfully. I mean, they're with these guys all day long,
Yeah.
for months now, and they already know. They already got a good idea about each guy. And here, Dillon Gabriel might be a good dude. You know what I mean? He just said something stupid. He just might be he might be a little arrogant. I agree. He is in a bad spot. He probably knows he has no shot here. So I don't know. Maybe he wants traded. Who knows? But
yeah, possibly. I mean, there was a report that came out that the teams were calling for him, so maybe he's trying to get up out of here.
it may. Yeah, I don't think it does anything in the locker room. I don't think the players give a shit. Here, I can tell you this. Certainly the vets, they could care less what a green pea thinks. You know what I mean? So these guys they've already been through the grind, and they don't care. Here, it's if it's a one-off thing, okay. You know what I mean? But if it just keeps on going, well, then you got to get him out of here. So, the more I was sitting here thinking, the more I think about this, even without this comment he made, I just don't know. I just think that this has turned into where it would be divisive going forward. Just because he was a 3rd round pick, Shedeur was a 5th round pick. Shedeur is, if everybody's gravitating to Shedeur.
Well, shout out to Trishan, extra George. He said the locker room veterans have already chose Shedeur in my eyes, and I kind of see that too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So,
Not that I don't like Dillon, but I'm just saying when I see Njoku out there a lot with him now, and Myles Garrett's comments, I just think that you could see it slowly. Ocho Cinco's report,
right? But here, if they can, I don't know if they can get some kind of value. Maybe they should. They probably should just trade him because I think it'll be I just don't think it'll be a good dynamic in the quarterback room. So
I don't think so either.
you know what I mean?
I think Joey. I think you made a helpful point earlier. I actually think the more I think about it, Mike, I think for the chemistry of that room, and just for the overall morale after all this stuff, Mike and Joey, I think Joey, like you said earlier, I think you got to keep Pickett because I think Pickett at least seems to have a little more. He's hanging out with guys, and there's not a lot of bag. I don't say bag. There's not a lot of
Animosity.
there's not a lot of tension. I think competitive tension between Shedeur and Pickett. I actually seen those two laugh with each other, joke with each other. I just think with Dillon and Shedeur, I don't know how their relationship is all. It may be good off the record, but I haven't really seen a whole lot with those two interacting at all. Like every time I see something, Mike, it's always Flacco, Shedeur, and Kenny Pickett talking. Mainly,
Right.
I see Shedeur talking to Flacco, and he sits next to Flacco every day. Shedeur's had more relationship with Deshaun Watson, who's probably not going to be on this organization in a year from now. And so, I just don't know. I mean, I go back to the report that came out from Mike Silver, I believe it was last week, that said teams called the Browns about trading for Dillon Gabriel after the draft, and they said at that time back in April they said no, they wanted to see what they both had. I think now, Mike and Joey, I'm curious because that's what you said earlier. I think, and shout out to Sean here, the Cavs fan. He said, could you see Dillon in a Dolphins uniform? I think that could be a good fit because he's kind of got some similarities to Tua, not just because he's left-handed, but I think there's some similarities. I would open up the phone, Mike, and see what you can get possibly. Because I just don't. The more I think about it, I'm just like, how do you keep this going on in the season like that? Like you said, Jersey, I just don't. How is that going to be good?
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I think it goes back to, all right, we're talking about the Cleveland Browns. What do the Browns do? They don't make competent decisions.
Yeah, right here, the front office brought this on themselves. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just the way Pickett's fit in that locker room, we all know Flacco's going to start. They have a tendency to go with their guys, and they took Gabriel first. And I think regardless how this last preseason game goes, I just got a bad feeling the Browns will make another bad decision and keep Gabriel. And then unfortunately, Shedeur's, you don't have the room on your roster. So I hope that's not the case. That's just where I have a bad feeling it might go.
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from because the Browns always do the opposite of what you want them to do. He said, I think that was the goal. Set Dillon up with a great showing versus the Eagles with max protection, quick reads. It went well until the pick six. I honestly believe that's why he was pulled at the half. And Mike, did you think it was interesting he was pulled at the half, or was that? I think some of it was married due to the hamstring a little bit because I think he probably only had a certain amount of reps he was probably given was probably about a half. But I think that's a good observation as well. That I mean, we said this last week. Could this be a trade game possibly where you display him and maybe because I don't know. What do you think, Mike? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if they got an attractive enough offer for Gabriel, I think they'd take it. I think they've seen enough out of Shedeur now that he's not going to be on the trade block, the release block, none of that. Same thing with Pickett, though. Like, they're not tied to Pickett. Like, at the end of the day, Pickett's on a one-year deal. So is Flacco. So that's why I'm still hanging on to Pickett being the odd man out, is just because Flacco, Flacco might retire after this year. Pickett is on a one-year deal. You're not going to sign him to an extension. Like, there's less tied to him. That's the only reason I think they might keep Sanders and Shedeur. I'm sorry, I meant Sanders and Gabriel. But as far as why he was pulled at half, I think maybe, yeah, you were right on the money with playing it safe with the hamstring. I thought he should have played a little bit, at least half of the third quarter, especially of how the day was going. But yeah, the preseason is all about like gaining value and all that good stuff. I mean, very well could have set him up to look good to put him on the trade block.
Trishan said he subscribed. Shout out to you, Trishan.
Hell
yeah. Thank you so much. We have another super chat. Priya, is that? Can you put is it Priya? I don't want to mispronounce your name.
I'm guessing it's Priya.
I'm gonna say Priya Rose. You've been in the chat a lot, so we appreciate your comments. Welcome to the show. Opinions on kicker. Would you replace? Who would replace Hopkins?
I would have replaced
Whoever
that.
number 47 is. I don't know who it is, but he hit 2 great field goals. Whoever number 47 is. I think it's like Smith, something like that.
We were complaining about that last week. I said earlier the secondary was the biggest flaw. I forgot about the kicking unit. And really, not the special teams overall, Mike, has been pretty good. It's really just the lawn snapper. Again, didn't bring back Charlie Hewlett. Now you got somebody else out there yesterday who botched a snap, and I used to play lawn. I know about that stuff. Botched a snap, and then was it Bojorquez dropped the ball, and then he tried kicking it late. It was just a bad rep all around. And then he's been dicey ever since we paid him, Mike. He hasn't been the same guy. 2 years ago was great. We thought we had the next man. This is the best kicker we've had since Phil Dawson. And we paid him, and everything just went downhill since. So you say that guy, Mike?
Yeah, he took Hopkins' spot, which is unusual for kickers. Usually, you just have your kicker out there, right? Even doesn't matter what team you are. But they pulled Hopkins and they put in 47. Caramel Popcorn just posted it. The name Smith. I don't know how to say that. SCMYT. I'm just going to call him number 47, Agent 47 out there. Shout out Hitman video games, great video games. But
it's Priya. She said, "Sorry for my yap, but I'm like, oh no, we love it. We keep it coming. We love it. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. Glad you. I hope you subscribe and see you back here. So I'll just make sure I pronounce it right. Thank you, Priya, like Prius. All right, Priya Rose. Shout out to you. Quentin Swift said, "I just subscribed to the real ones." Oh, shout out to you, Quentin.
Hell yeah, Quentin.
Every time you get a subscription, you get a hell yeah from Jersey. Let's see. I missed somebody. El Clone. His confidence was rattled. That's why he didn't play past the half. Shout out to Caramel Popcorn 87. Can't wait to see how they both play against the Rams next week. Yeah, me too, Caramel Popcorn. I think that'll be really
Big
interesting
game.
as well. That's a big game next week for both of them. Definitely. You got anything else, Mike, on that subject? Go ahead.
on the kicking subject,
Yeah.
Agent 47
and we got,
should just
and we
be the
got
dude.
Chantel in there too. I didn't mean to cut you off. We got Chantel now. It's good to see you, Chantel. And we also have Christian said he just subscribed as well. Go ahead.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Agent 47. He looks great out there. Smite. I think that's maybe how you say his name. He looked like a comparable kicker. Dude, it's a kicker. I just want him to do his job. Just kick the extra point, make the goddamn extra point, and if it's a field goal within 35 to 40 yards, just make it. If you miss a 55-yard field goal, okay, one here or there, I get it. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but just make the goddamn extra points. I just am so sick of having to be like Cade York, Dustin Hopkins, all these fucking kickers. It's like, Jesus God, it is the easiest job in the NFL, legitimately. Just kick the ball through the uprights, make the extra point, do the little thing, go back to the sideline on the bench, like hug the ball, fucking put it back down, kick it to the other team, go sit on the bench and collect your $2 million or whatever money they make. I'm just so sick of it. Whoever it is, I don't care, as long as it makes it. Agent 47 looks like he can make it. I don't want to pay Dustin Hopkins anymore. He botched one extra point and he almost botched a field goal. I'm just here. I don't get it. It's like golf. These kickers get in their own heads and all of a sudden they forget to do their damn job. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I'm going on a rant about kickers. Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it, bro. I'm so tired of this shit. Like, why can't we get the easiest shit down? Every other team has kicker down. It's a kicker, bro. Oh, I'm sorry.
Not us. Oh, she said the podcast I told you about the other night was the Rams trading Bennett and a third for Shedeur. It was Locked On Rams. Mike, if that is, I think they're just speculating. I think that's the Rams fans probably hopeful because they need a quarterback down the road because Stafford's probably got a few years left if he even won. But if the Browns made that trade, Mike, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed.
I highly doubt
I'd be pissed if they traded him in general because I wouldn't trade him at all. After what I saw, I wanted to keep this going with him. and I don't think the owner will after he's already generated $250
Oh,
million.
the owner would never let that happen. Jimmy Haslam would be like, "What the hell do you think you're doing?"
$250 million of revenue, Jersey and Joey. I don't think he's trading that away.
No. If he, I won't even say what should happen if he did. I mean,
okay,
no way in hell that $250 million. I mean, no way in hell. And if he gets to the point where he can, gets 4, 5, 6 games in the season, he can move past Flacco in the depth chart and he's starting. They start getting flexed. They get primetime games.
revenue.
Creates more revenue.
He's got a stadium to pay for.
It's all about that stadium too. It's not even about this season. Everything right now in Jimmy Haslam's world is about this stadium, this whole complex that he wants to build. That's where he's at. That's where his mind's at, because he's looking at the long term. And let's face it, it's the billionaires club, and he's got one of the most dated stadiums. I'm up there the other night for the Morgan Wallen concert. And it's nice. We're in a club area, and it's nice in there. But I told your mom, I said, what's crazy is this stuff. This is dated as hell now compared to some of these stadiums that are being built.
Right.
So it's just crazy. It's a 26-year-old stadium, and it's completely outdated, and they're going to tear it down. So, but that's where these guys' minds are. We can't comprehend the way these guys think. It's just ego, and this guy's got this stadium, this guy's got stadium. I want my own stadium, and it becomes a pissing match. He wants a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? He wants to have indoor concerts in the wintertime. I don't blame him. And so I actually hear him being at that concert the other night. I was like, man, I would have been out of here a hell of a lot sooner and would have got in there quicker had it been in Brook Park. You know what I mean? And so I hope he does get it. I mean, I'm sure they're going to get it built, but he don't want any resistance. And if his team's playing well, and the team's making extra revenue, it makes it just makes it easier to get that stadium done.
Exactly.
Speaking of my mom's in the chat, Mrs. Lavin. Hi, 3 Joes and Mike. Hey, Mom, how you doing?
I just objectively realized I'm surrounded by all of you are named Joe.
Yeah.
Except me. I always forget that.
What up? It's Joseph, Joey, and Joe, so it's a lot different. Chantel, I was
by the way, hi, Joy.
Appreciate that, Chantel. Thanks for getting that over to me. I'll check that out. He said Jerry's World. Oh, that's a stadium. I do like when Ohio State plays games there. It's fun.
The new concept stadium looks sick, and how they're doing that, like kind of like how the Hall of Fame's doing it. Like they have the little mini area, like the bar crawl and restaurant crawl with a hotel behind it. I think that's an awesome idea to have all those things right next to the stadium. The new concept looks awesome. If it ends up anything like the concept, I'm super hyped.
This is pretty cool. Christian Richard says, I was at a bar with Webster Slaughter, and he says that they should bring Shedeur up after Flacco. Shout out to the legend, Webster Slaughter, Cleveland Browns legend.
Oh, yeah.
Coolest name ever, too.
That's my era.
That's your era. Thanks for bringing that up, Christian. Thanks for sharing that. Shout out to Webster.
I didn't know he was still in the area.
And I agree with Webster Slaughter. If Shedeur stays at QB 40, think he would be on the practice squad. I don't see.
Someone would claim him.
So I'll get to this in a second. Before I do that, though, I'm going to open up the hotline if anybody wants to call in before we wrap up. 216-532-5550. Call the hotline right now. 216-532-5550.
Oh, in Texas.
Your chance to call and join and give your take. You want to call in and share your take. Again, the way this is set up, I've got to figure out the phone. You can't ask any of the panelists. They can't talk to you. You can only talk to me, just the way it's set up. I got to figure that out. I apologize. So if you have a question for the panel, just state your question, your opinion, and hang up the phone, and then we'll respond to it. Or if you have a question for me, I can just respond to you directly. So call into the show now. Again, 216-532-5550. We had some great callers recently, and it's been fun to talk to you guys. So call in right now. It's your shot to call in. But as we wait for anybody to call in, I will let you guys what Chantel said. She said if Shedeur stays QB4, do you think he'll be on the practice squad? Where do you guys now, Joey? I'll start with you. What do you want to see for the rest of the preseason? And if somebody calls, I may have to cut you off. I apologize, but what do you want to see the rest of this preseason? You got the Rams next week. What do you think the depth chart should be right now? Mike and I answered this earlier, but what do you want to see with the QB room in particular?
Oh, I want to see Pickett play. I don't know if he's going to be healthy next week. Hopefully he will be. So I want to see what he can do with this current roster. I mean, I think we all agree Flacco. I think we all agree Flacco should be QB1, and then it's kind of a mess after that. But yeah, I want to see Pickett play for the final game, maybe a half or at least a quarter and a half. Then Shedeur should follow if he's healthy, and then Gabriel should finish it off.
I got a
Huntley,
caller.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
Get cut off.
Welcome into the real. Who are you calling? What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Wendy, and I'm calling from California.
All right, Wendy, welcome to the show. What's your take on all this? Go right ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, so first of all, tell Dillon we do like entertainment. You know, when they fired up on the field and they do extraordinary. When Shedeur did an extraordinary dime to his receivers, all that is outstanding. That's entertainment,
Right?
but it's also competition.
Yeah. Shedeur, he can put the watch up after he throws a nice touchdown pass.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's entertainment. We like entertainment.
Yeah, we like showmen.
when the players can do something outstanding.
Yeah, we like showmen, especially in Cleveland.
Right. So, you know, I think Dillon needs to just keep it quiet, do his job, and realize he's not a first. I don't think they should put Dillon at no time as a first starter quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he should either, but I think he's got a lot more development to do.
And I also think that Cleveland needs people. They need some hope.
Yeah.
They haven't had hope in a long time ago. So what's wrong with entertainment?
Well, that's a good point.
What's wrong with somebody coming in, firing you up, and telling you good? Because let's think about it. Those are third and fourth players that was out there. You had Amazon player, UPS player, and he did well with them.
Hell yeah.
I love that analogy.
We need the hope.
Yeah, we do need the hope. You make a great point. We said that last week, you know, because Shedeur, everywhere he's gone, they changed the culture everywhere they've gone, with Jackson State or Colorado.
But people got to recognize that.
They gravitate towards him.
These new kids coming in. It's about culture.
Right. And I totally, as Browns fans, my whole life, all four of us up here, they need some hope because last year was abysmal.
Yeah. So, you know, we like entertainment. Just like last year. What is the other guy that was on the Eagles that did that jump? Saquon Barkley. Yeah. I mean, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's what he want to call entertainment, I take it.
That's a great point. I love your call. Thank you, Wendy, and hope you call back anytime. We love your takes.
Thank you.
Have a good one. God bless.
You too.
Shout out to Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy.
That was a great
Hell
call.
yeah, Wendy, great call.
That was Amazon, UPS, and FedEx.
Right.
What she said? Go ahead. I thought she made a good point there, though. I like what she said. We like entertainment on the field.
Right. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
Go ahead,
exactly. Isn't that what it really is? Entertainment?
Game. Football's game.
Right.
Mike. I agree.
So-
Joe, you got anything, bud?
Man, I would love Dillon Sampson to do a backwards hurdle like Saquon this year if he can do that. Oh man, that would be some entertainment for sure.
I'm very high on Dillon Sampson. I can promise you that will not happen.
Ah.
Maybe Quinchon. Quinchon's gonna be playing now, probably. So
Yeah.
Quinchon maybe, but maybe Jerome might have that. I don't know. Jerome likes to just run north south, but Mike, I'll be wait again. If you guys want to call in like Wendy just did, and appreciate the call, we love your guys' call. 216-532-5550. It's your last chance to call in. And before we wrap it up here, he said, "See you and AF and around." Shout out to Elko. That's a great comment. Let's see. But again, if you guys want to call on the show and give your take, and 216-532-5550, we really appreciate it. Mike, I'm gonna hand it off to you because we got a hit on it. The Browns signed Isaiah Bond on a 3-year deal. Now, Isaiah Bond was a big time receiver, or pretty good receiver last year at Texas. Was highly effective. He played, I think, was it 3 years, Mike? I believe, or 2 years at Alabama, and then transferred to Texas. The 1 year he was at Alabama was the year Tommy Rees was there, so they have experience there with the coordinator Tommy Rees. And so obviously Isaiah Bond, Mike, what were the allegations off the field? He was accused of I don't want to get it wrong, if you remember.
It was sexual assault.
And what was the legal side of it, Mike? I know he didn't get charged, or they didn't go through it.
No, so they found that there were no grounds to move forward with the case because essentially he proved that she was trying to elicit money beforehand. She had text messages and all of that. That's about the groundwork of it. I know it in a very cursory way because I did look into it, because obviously very serious allegations. You should investigate into it, as the Browns did. But he
cleared it.
He cleared it essentially,
and
allegations being very serious allegations. He was cleared of them, but as a football player.
Yeah, well, I get he cleared it legally. So again, we're not the jury or anything. We're just presenting what was the information of the case.
Yeah,
but
we're not lawyers. We're not cops.
No, we're not trying to do any of that. We're not know much about the case either. So I'll be honest, I didn't expect the Browns to even sign him. It came out of nowhere to me. But I'll go around the panel here. What do you guys think? I think he had the fastest 40 at the combine, or one of them. Again, he was really really explosive in college, had a big year last year at Texas. I think that's somebody they need, somebody that can be a burner and get open a lot consistently, and you can do a lot of things with. Mike, what's your thoughts on the football side?
Isaiah Bond, top 100 prospect. I had him as a late second, early third round guy. I mean, insane speed, and he can actually. A lot of guys with that kind of speed usually struggle to catch the ball. Isaiah Bond never did. Not in Alabama, not in Texas. He's an excellent prospect, excellent player. He's going to obviously have to be brought up to speed and quickly because he has been not doing football for the entire summer. This is somebody I fully expect to make the team, though, and make an impact. The dude is a dog. He very well can work into his starting lineup after he gets up into speed. But overall, from a football perspective, great signing. I had him as a top 100 player. And the Browns need all the wide receiver depth they can get. And this is a guy that, if he works out, can end up being a long-term franchise player.
Who wants the next crack at it? Joey?
More weapons for Joey Flack, man. I love it. We needed more depth in the wide receiver room, and I've heard good things about him, so I'm all for it.
Mr. Cleveland said Johnson got to be falls this week. I know Mike and I, we gave our take earlier on Diontae Johnson. Diontae Johnson's been really 50-50 to me, Mike. Like we said, some plays he looks great, some plays not. The effort doesn't look there on blocks, from my observation, and not tagging him, not going out in person or anything, but it's just my observation football play. But like we talked about earlier, Mike, he has a reputation already. People think he quit on the team last year. That's he didn't want to go the game. I think they said he didn't want to block because it was too cold, or allegedly, and all this. So, or that was comment, Mike. Did you say that he didn't want it was too cold to block or something?
Too cold to play. Yeah,
too cold to play. And so
it was like 38 degrees.
Yeah, and I point out some things on my film breakdown for last. And that's why I put that. My prediction going into this game last Tuesday in our group chat was I think we'll see a Gabriel pick six on a throw to Diontae Johnson, and that's exactly what happened. And so, because of just what I saw in the tape last week, I just didn't like what I saw overall. And so I think that I think Isaiah Bond is another great speed you need. But also, I think the Gage LeVarton kid. I mean, I'm reading today. He might be put on the practice squad. I'm like, I think he should make the team over Diontae Johnson. That's just my opinion, but I think Mike agrees. But Jersey, what's your take on all this? What do you think of Isaiah Bond?
Well, I remember
He was
watching.
he was supposed to be a second, third round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, hopefully they did their due diligence on their own as far as the accusations. And if they did, then anytime you got somebody that kind of speed, I remember watching him at Texas, and then saw him in a combine. You got that kind of speed. I mean, that it creates a lot of possibilities for you on the offense. So yeah, it's great. Like I said, but first thing I think of is hopefully they went back and made sure everything was good, and because we don't need any more of that crazy crap here. So,
Right.
but again, anytime you get that kind of speed, that's a great thing.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it'd be another bonus to the offense. They needed a guy who could run out of a safety and stuff, especially in cover two. I think he'll be really effective there. I think that's somebody they could have used, and now they have it. I think it's probably going to take him probably about mid-season because I mean he's been out. I mean he had to go. He went through all this process, and he's probably going to get back and maybe I'm sure he's been working out and stuff. But you still got to go to camp. That'll really get you in football shape where they want you to be. And I think he'll have to learn the playbook. He's a little behind there. He's a rookie, so I think probably about mid-season. That's when he'll be ready to go. He said, Joseph, is my audio bad?
No,
You were
my
out of
end.
it for a little bit, but you're good now.
Am I back now?
Yeah, I think you've been fine for the last couple minutes.
Oh, my apologies if it went out. It might have been the stupid internet. I hope Gage makes team. Yeah, I hope so too. Mike, this is a good question for you because I know you read more about it. Do you think the league will punish Bond? Now, what I saw, Mike, was they don't think the league will punish him, but what do you think?
I mean, it's the NFL. I mean, they so even if, like, for example, Quinshon Judkins, his stuff got thrown out. Like, he's not going to court. There wasn't enough evidence. There was actually conflicting evidence that supported Quinshon's tale of events. So I still fully think Quinshon Judkins is going to get suspended something. And I fully expect Isaiah Bond to receive some sort of suspension because at the end of the day, the NFL cares about optics. And even if you are innocent of something, the perception that you could be guilty is more important to the league. And for that matter, most companies and or media outlets. So yeah, no, I think Isaiah Bond will receive some sort of suspension, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. What do you think of Caden Davis? Pre-asked, Mike. What about Davis? He had both number 12 touchdowns. He made some plays yesterday too. What do you think of Caden Davis, Mike?
Great practice squad player. He had a great preseason and training camp last year. He's just one of those guys that will always show up in training camp, works hard on scout team. He's not, I don't know if he's ever going to be the guy to get a call up, but he's a hard worker. He does his job in the practice squad during the season and in the scout team. He's an important part of kind of what the Browns do behind the scenes. But yeah, Caden Davis has been making some plays, and I expect him to do so on the practice squad and the scout team moving forward.
Anybody else got Joe? You got anything on Caden Davis?
No.
No. All right, good. DeWeed, I think that's how I said. DeWeed said it's time for the dog pound to win. I gave up on the NFL when they went to Baltimore. Ohio was the birthplace. It's definitely time for the dog pound to win. That's for sure, without a doubt. Thanks for tuning in, my brother. Those jerseys have a 90-day money back on them. That would be a headache. I'm betting they would instead offer the change the team jersey instead of refunding over $250 million. It's got to be higher now. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go through all that. That would be. Yeah, I agree with you. He's definitely going to be on the team, no doubt about it. Lervaden. Is that how you say it, Mike? Lervaden.
Yeah.
I heard people say Levarden.
Levarden. I don't know if they've actually asked him.
Yeah, I don't know. Gage. We'll just say Gage.
We'll just say Gage. 84.
What do you think of Marshall, Mike? He's had a pretty good preseason so far.
Armani Marshall's been great. He's a UDFA out of Appalachia State, yeah? Appalachia State? Yeah. Yeah, look that up real quick. I think it's Appalachia State. He has looked great in preseason, and he's looked great in training camp too. And we kind of just signed him out of nowhere as a UDFA after the Judkins stuff started going down. But I wouldn't mind, like, the Browns typically keep 4 running backs. I wouldn't mind him taking Pierre Strong Jr.'s place. I'll tell you that much. He has got great vision. He's stocky. He can evade tacklers well. He can absorb contact. He doesn't mind putting his head down and absorbing contact to fight for extra yards. I've loved what I've seen from him. I would love for 39 to make the team be the 4th running back.
He's from App State, averaged 4.2 yard carry yesterday on 6 carries.
I had no idea how I remembered that. But yeah, he's looked awesome, man. I think he's really put some good work in.
Wait till after week 2. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Jersey, would you tell me we saw the jerseys down in at Dick's Sporting Goods last week, all the Sanders stuff? What'd you say? Just wait. Just wait, because it's Cleveland. You never know.
Right. Well, my greatest concern with him is it's not so much with the Browns looking to get rid of him as he looking to get away from here. That's always been my concern since they drafted him. I just don't see that guy wanting to be in Cleveland. You know what I mean? So, and if he continues to get better and has more success, will they start trying to call for the trade? You know what I mean? So that's always been my concern. I could see Haslam also. If Haslam's that hell bent on trying to get Arch Manning, who hasn't even really
hasn't done anything yet.
We're still waiting to see Arch Manning. And if Arch Manning stays in college another 2 years, does Haslam ride Shedeur Sanders for 2 years, make all the money on him, and then trade him? That would be absolutely crazy. But again, you just don't know. He's so close with the Mannings and so enamored with this kid. It's hard. You just don't know. But I would say it'd be more the Sanders looking to get to a different market. So that's always been my concern. He's definitely not going to be here past 4 years.
I don't know. I'll address that one if it gets to that point. But has anyone heard it? Has anyone? Here he played Boulder, Colorado, and Jackson, Mississippi. I think he'll be fine in Cleveland, but that's
here,
new stadium.
But they gave his dad a gig. You know what I mean? They gave his dad full power. They went from Jackson State. They went to it from there. They went to a Power 5 conference and gave him full control of everything. So I don't know here if he had his choice to go there or Florida State or Texas or Ohio State. I think he would have went to the other ones first, but
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. It's just that's usually how it always ends up for Cleveland.
Christian said, has anyone heard about the tight ends for Cleveland? Yeah, obviously David Njoku, Joey and Mike, we all know him. Obviously, could be a Pro Bowler. And what do you think, Mike? And Joey, what do you think of Harold Fannin Jr.? I thought we know the upside. I think he needs to get a little more involved in the preseason. How many targets did he have yesterday? Did he have any yesterday? He didn't have any receptions yesterday, but
I think they held him out. I don't even think
they hold him out.
Yeah, they held him out.
Played. Yeah, I think he'd at least a catch. But what do you guys think of the tight end room?
I love our tight end room. I think David Njoku, he's never ever really been like what we think. David's one of those players that it's like he's a little aggravating because it's like he's so talented, and that we all know he can do more than what he does. But he's like you said, perennial Pro Bowler. He's going to get you 700-800 yards every year, which is great for the tight end position. Harold Fannin Jr. I'm so glad he's a Brown. I was surprised he was available when he was available. I think he has a bright future ahead of him. He's looked great in training camp, and the Browns are obviously telling you everything you need to know by him playing so few snaps in preseason. What they think of him, he's going to have a big role on the offense this season. It's going to be exciting to watch. But I was hyped that Harold Fannin Jr. became a Brown.
Joey, what do you think, bud?
This will be David Njoku's best season yet. I think he's going to break his most yards in the season, most touchdowns in the season. He's going to be a Pro Bowler. I think Njoku is going to go off this year, assuming he stays healthy, which has kind of been a thing with Njoku. But I think he will, and I think he's going to have a great year. And Fannon's a very good backup tight end. I'm actually surprised we haven't played him that much in preseason, but they must see a lot in him, and I think he's gonna be great down the road too.
Jersey?
Well, Njoku just has a career low drops. That'll be a great thing. I mean, that's the downside of him. Is he's inconsistent with his hands. Seems like he's always worried about yards after the catch before he catches the ball. So if he can have a career low in drops, it's going to be a great thing. And then Fannin, I haven't got to see either one of the games, but from what I've seen, footage of him and what I've heard, sounds like they're already good to go on him. So it's probably why they didn't play him. And sounds good. I mean, here, Njoku is a specimen. Everyone knows that. You just got to catch the damn ball. And if it's, bringing in Fannin, here, you got two tight ends like that. That's great for the quarterback. You know what I mean? Takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback. So, and is anyone? Have we heard anything about the way Fannin is as a blocker? What he does?
Better than expected.
Really?
Yeah, I think better than expected. I mean, I think the one missed block he had last week, it was because Diontae Johnson missed his block, and then Fannin got out there, and there was a guy. I don't think that was his assignment. But I think he'll be pretty good. He's a pretty physical guy. I mean, he played at McKinley, and yeah, I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, as long as he blocks. I don't want any guy that don't block. You know what I mean?
No, he's better than expected. The problem with Fannin is there wasn't a lot of college tape of him blocking just because he was so good that he was Bowling Green's entire offense. So like when you just send him out wide, just get the ball into his hands, you know what I mean? So like no, but he's fine as a blocker. He's got to get a little bit better, but
yeah, is this the last year of I agree. Is this the last year of Njoku's contract?
yes.
Okay. So that's a big year for him.
Oh yeah, he's going off.
Antonio, thanks for tuning in. Cleveland hasn't seen the best Shedeur yet. Can't wait for y'all to see what those of us who followed him have. Just tip the iceberg. I agree with you, Antonio. I mean, I know Jersey and I, Mike, and all, we've been watching him since he when they first got the car. I watched him at Jackson State, and then we followed all the way through Colorado, and then now he's in Cleveland. So we're definitely rooting for him. Yeah, you guys got anything else? What are you guys looking forward to the rest of the preseason? Are you just ready for week 1 already?
You know what I'm looking forward to?
What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to all these folks that joined us and were kind enough to comment on our video, to like, subscribe, and share this content because it helps us out so much, and we appreciate everybody who joined with us this evening. But also, I'm also looking forward to, if Shedeur is healthy enough, to seeing him start again against the Rams, seeing what he's got, proving it once again that he has the capability and deserves the quarterback 2 spot behind Flacco.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I want to see Shedeur get moved up the depth chart to where I think he should be, and maybe see Kenny Pickett get healthy, like Joey said. I mean, we haven't really seen a whole lot of them. The guy's unfortunately dealing with a hamstring at the wrong time, so I'd like to see more of that. But I definitely want to see Shedeur healthy as well. I think they got to be careful with these guys' injuries. We had Coach Rivera on this week, world class trainer and legendary coach, trained Butch Reynolds and all. And I got the shirt on tonight. Mike had the shirt earlier today. Shout out to Coach. He gave us the shirts, and go check out an interview from Coach this week. He's our injury breakdown report guy. Evaluates all the injuries. He does this for a living. The guys of all levels, professionally, has NFL guys, college guys, high school guys. Even got to meet one of the rising quarterback stars today, Bryson from Wadsworth, quarterback. Make sure I got his. Give me 1 second. Because I've read so many comments tonight, Mike. I totally forgot. Bryson Hall. That's what I thought. Bryson Hall. Shout out to Bryson. Rising star quarterback at Wadsworth, sophomore. Make sure you guys check him out if you're local. If not, you can still check him out. His kid's gonna be a name to remember. I think by the time he's a senior, really good kid and a great student of the game. And Jersey met him as well.
Yeah, somebody good kid, good kid. Seems like he's a good coachable kid. Very very kind, respectful. Seems like he's a film rat. So and he's only a sophomore. Look at that kid. That kid's only a sophomore. So I'm gonna keep an eye on him this year. I mean, obviously, I'm a just high school football nut, but yeah, it's good to see. I just love to meet kids like that are out. It's Sunday, and he's out working. You know what I mean? So I love seeing that, and just the kid here. He's already a 3-star. Can't wait to see what he is by the time he's a senior. So keep an eye on him.
And shout out to Coach Rivera, and Michael's happy with his shirt.
Great picture.
Tom Head says too much vulgarity.
Vulgarity.
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Tom. Thanks for tuning in, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else for Guy here? Joey, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, let's get to week 1, man. We all know Joey Flacco is going to start, and it'd be interesting to see who else is on the depth chart. But let's get to week 1.
I agree. Jersey?
Well, like Joe said, I do want to see Kenny Pickett play. But more importantly, it's high school football starting this week in Ohio. Ground Zero football, Northeast Ohio. Going to Hoban Knights, Nike Elite team. Going to be a great season, loaded. I just can't wait. Weather's going to be perfect. I mean, I've been waiting. You know me, I've been waiting almost a year. So
yeah, you've been at the gate since the game season.
Yeah, I'll be camping out Thursday night.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, that's what I'm most excited for. You know, then a couple weeks you got Ohio State, so that's when it's really great. You got high school football Friday night. You got football Saturday. You got football Sunday. So we're very fortunate in the beautiful Buckeye State to have what we have. So it's gonna be a great week. Weather's gonna get better. Won't be so hot. And just want to say thanks to everybody. You're right.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say thanks to everybody that's watching, everybody that likes, everybody that subscribed tonight. Just a comment
tonight. Yeah, that's a new one we got to add.
Super chats. Just so thankful to everybody for the support. You know, I just all the chats coming in. Just amazing what it's turning into, and that's what it's really about. It's about it's just about the fans. You know what I mean? And people having a great time, and we just try our best up here, and it's going to be a great season. It's going to be a great season this year. So pretty excited.
Yeah, without a doubt. And thanks to all the new people tonight. He said, take a camera. Thank you for live show. I think you're at 30 subscribers, including me. Well, I appreciate. Shout out. I haven't checked.
Appreciate that.
Shout out to all the new subscribers. Yeah, go ahead, Jersey. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in tonight. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Thank you very much. Let's see. You guys saw the scripted plays at 4 or 5 yards, 3 catch and runs and 20-yard pass, Pop Warner outing. Shout out to Roger Johnson. Great show. Thank you, Christian. Give Shedeur the reps, and he will challenge Flacco. Joe, look what he did without them. Oh, excuse me. Look what he did without them. Talking about, I'd like to see some highlights of Hoban football. Huh? You can just Google Hoban football. I think it's what you're referring to. Just on YouTube. I'm sure they'll have highlights up after the game. I think you can actually live stream the game too. You can just live stream it on their site. I recommend watching. It'll be a good week one matchup against Harvard's Prep from Columbus. So I'll be looking forward to it, and we will be there. But yeah. So that's all I got for you guys. Shout out to those new subscribers, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and we will see you guys in the next one. I'm saluting. Joey's. What's Joey gonna do? Joey's saluting. Mike, what?
What am I doing right now? I'm sprinting down the street in the middle of the street in the middle of the night, and I'm barefoot, and I'm about to play chicken with a semi truck. I'm gonna win.
All right. Let's hope we see Mike on the next show.
Yeah. Later. I'm joking, by the way. Monetization later. Goodbye.